Welcome everyone to the 3 hours of Bathurst presented by ENVY Simsports and also presented by GTCtv. We are here with, I think, about 40 cars at the mountain. So this should be extremely exciting. We have our sponsors are Coach Dave Delta. The coach is Dave Academy School. I don't think he's giving out any prizes for this one, but you should definitely check it out to learn as much as you can. I think he gave out a prize for the last series. I think it was like free membership or something like that. So somebody got some really cool stuff. And then also Triple Stint helping us out and bringing all the fun to you.
Yes, they do have prizes for this one. Triple Stint. They're giving away a pair of gloves for the winners, and 50% off for second place and 25% off for third place. So yeah, they do have prizes for this endurance one.
Oh, cool. So yeah, so everybody can, or some people can get some cool stuff. Everybody will be fighting for it. GT3 lap record is 2 minutes 1 second, which is, I think, depending on who you speak to, some people can get down into the 2 minutes. But it's always putting a lap together when it counts, because we can always do it when nobody's recording it. Done by Shane Van Gisbergen, Mr. Excitement himself, in the McLaren 650 GT3 back in 2016. Seems like a long time that somebody would have broke that by now. But it's definitely one of the fastest drivers in the world, as he's over in the States, giving his hand in NASCAR for the first time. I think he's actually up into the top series this year. So we'll see how he fares. He should do pretty well, especially on the road courses. This place will give everybody a challenge. I am your host, Fry, of course, joined by the guy who makes me sound spectacular, Mr. Pix, and always Mr. Eton helping us out and keeping us in line for the most part. I haven't been to HR yet, and I've been here for a while, so we're doing pretty good.
All right, they have finished qualifying. We're getting results in just a few seconds.
So they're wrapping up qualifying right now. Beautiful view of the mountain as you go uphill, downhill, left, right, twist, turn. And if you make it the whole time without hitting the wall, you are a liar, because you are definitely going to hit a wall at this place, at least a tap, a kiss, something. This place, I always say, you try to conquer the mountain, but the mountain always wins. And it's, as far as the layout goes, it doesn't look that complex. But it's as soon as you start your ascend up to the mountain, it's just that's where it can either come undone or come together for you. And you sort of get a little relief down that back straightaway, but so many of us have come down that hill, gone into that left-hand corner, and we didn't make it. So there's times to relax and there's times to not relax. Qualifying completed, waiting on results. And Valkyrie will lead us off. I think that's the sports teams. Altitude is next. New Motion, BC Racing, WDFR, Ricky Renner, because he is Next Gen Motorsports, Pepsi Max Racing, Gotta Beat It Racing, gotta love that one, Enduro Light, and Triple Stint Racing. And we'll say VGTR Esport, Juan Rodriguez, Team 87, John Cannon running solo, Just for Speed, Cyberdyne Motorsports, Gabriel Grosier, Team 87 again, Nathan Nickerson, and Zenith Racing Team. I think this is like a team event, right?
Three
And a
hours,
lot of
so they can do it in pairs. And
yep. So we have Zenith Team Racing, number 5, 2816, Throttle Monkey Motorsports, High Priest Sim Race City, Team Corey, uh, Lapiros. Team Rouse. Okay, that is an R. It's Team Ivan Trubetskov. I know I'm gonna mess that one up. Team Arden. Is it Kvasov? And then Zenith Racing Car 270. And I saw a message about this one. I think the Junior Car 27, I think he went with the wrong team, I think. Maybe he's got a different team. But for now, he's classified as Zenith Racing. So there might be some drivers that are doing this 3 hours by themselves. There might be drivers that have teams. I think he left that open. So you're not required a minimal driver. I think if you want to run the full 3 hours on your own, you can do that. And I don't believe we have really any classes. It's all just everybody, no matter what you are, what your teams are, you just go for it. So we could see interesting lineups. No requirements on that as well, pros and hams and stuff like that. So it should be just be kind of everybody go for it. I think they might get one more warm-up lap. So are they coming to dawn, or are we just doing all nighttime for the whole race?
my guess is night or
Because
race.
this place at night is just, no, I don't want to do it. I hate this place at night. I am also not a very I'm not a very good night driver. People always say, I know it's a sim, you can brighten up your television, you can change your settings, you can do things like that. For me, if you're going to do the real sim, then you drive the way it should really be. So if it's nighttime and it's dark, then that's just how it is. It throws off my depth perception so bad. So it's nighttime is just not for me. I'm definitely a good pace day driver. Usually like your number 2 or 3 guy. Definitely not a finisher. But man, 3 hours. If you were going to do this by yourself, that is a task. Do 2 hours enduros, and that's pretty much like my limit. After about that, I'm ready to call it a day. So it'd be interesting to see as we go along, who has multiple members, who's making pit stops and changing drivers and, getting at least a break, one stint. I'm assuming about 3 pit stops, maybe 4. I'm not sure because GT cars can usually run about 45 minutes to an hour. But this place is, depending on, we get some cautions, if we get some hits to the walls, if we get, it's just no telling what anybody can do at this place. Sand trap as you come out right here, such a high-speed corner, usually Calamity Corner, is where it's just going to collect the most into the dipper, which again will be another place that just catches so many people out. The back end likes to snap around right about here. And then your front end likes to not turn here and go straight into that wall. As you see, they're even just under pace lap. They're going single file through here. That's how tight it is. You don't even want to go side by side going this slow. You got a whole straightaway coming out here. They'll all get, back gridded up. But this is going to be interesting. A lot of countries represented. Looks like France is one. Sweden, American, Africa. Finland. Looks like a few Aussies in there is what I'm looking for. Little home track advantage, if you will. This place is, about that dark. It's just, this place is pitch black at night. I can't see cars. Where are my cars? There they go. So, there you go. There's a pretty good look at what it looks like. That is, it's only getting that light because of all their headlights coming down. If that's one car at a time, it is not that bright. I think some of our camera angles are trying to find a place to watch, but since it's not showing the headlights, we can't see them. There they come over the hill. Look at that. That is creeping. I wonder why the pace car is not going in. I didn't see the lights on. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of strange. The pace car has stayed out. Timer has started. So the race has begun. We're 7 minutes in. Which under caution is, pretty much a lap or two, starting the second one, really. Not sure why they're still under. Might be trying to figure out a grid or something. Because, folks, I definitely do not have control of the race. I get paid in bologna sandwiches. Trust me, they're not letting me run any of the electronics. There's only a few things I get to do, and so yeah, I hope that we will be going green this time by. I know the drivers are ready to go. I definitely wouldn't want to drive around in the dark at this place side by side with anybody. Right now, like, let's just go single file from here and everyone just fall in line. Just nobody goes side by side. But the problem is that if you do that, some people don't line up back in the same place. It's always hard as a driver when you're in the car to see exactly where you should be on the grid. I'm always a hey, close enough, right? I mean, if I'm supposed to be on the second to last row and I'm starting last, I mean, there's really no reason to throw a fuss. Let's just go. I'd rather get the race underway. I think everybody agrees you'd rather start in the front or the back, never the middle. So these guys are fighting for a nice pair of gloves. I wish we could see the gloves. I want to see, but I wonder, maybe they get to pick like the colors and stuff.
Yeah, they make custom gloves, so most likely they're getting their team colors or something. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. Get like team gloves, and other people can get a little percentage off of something they want to get. And I'm sure that they have lots of stuff on their website. Many options. Yeah. I wonder what, what's funny. It's so dark. It's like, what camera is this? I see them coming down the hill. You just see the glow. It's all you see. It's the one lit spot on the track. That's where the cars are. That is kind of crazy. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. Almost like daytime when they start coming by. That was pretty cool. Absolutely no scenery anywhere else. There's a mountain back there somewhere. Trees, a couple houses, some sand that no one wants to visit. All my times racing here, I have never visited that sand trap to the left, but I have sure found the one to the right. That one to the left is usually you're already sideways or getting pushed somewhere. All right, let's see. He's not coming in this time again. Is he going to dive? Yep, there he goes. He always does his little dive at the last second. That's a penalty infraction right there, crossing the line. Oh, yeah. I can't tell if everybody jumped because the lights did not come on until they hit the line. Either that or we had a jump start. Everyone's just going to try to single file and get through the first corner. Remember, 3-hour race. Do not try to win it on the first turn, especially in the dark. Looks like Morg is out front. Jeffries, Fleming behind him. Coatser coming up. There we go. Get the overall. Now these guys do have, you know, obviously they're iRacers, so they have pro and pro-am status. So that's why it'll show up on the screen if they're pro or pro-am. Also running in the ENVY series, they're also listed as their registrations. So as you see, like Ricky Renner will have a little red next to him. I think he's doing the full 3 hours by himself. So he'll be classified as a pro driver, but I'm sure there's a mixture in there somewhere. We just don't know. That's kind of interesting for 3 hours. We don't know who is a pro, am, or anything. We're not going to be sure who's behind the wheel. And Nizazaka in 4th, Renner 5th. I'm going to try to get some of these names right throughout this race. Everybody single file coming out top of the mountain, getting ready to make their descent. I think I just saw 3 cars in a row tap that blue wall. And you see, just with them all in a line, you see that it's not as bright with all those cars together. So now the darkness is really setting in. I really hope we get to see the sun come up. I know John's out there racing somewhere. Making his way up. Looks like Moore's out front, Jeffries in 2nd, Fleming still in 3rd. Everybody kind of holding position, at least for the first lap, not trying to get too brave. Remember, 3-hour race, so there is no reason to push it right now, and you just kind of want to get settled in, gain as many spots as you can, but do not risk the car in the first 2 laps of a race. And I'm pretty sure we didn't get to see much of them, but we have so many different makes and models. We'll have to kind of eye them out. It's hard to tell with the lights. I know we're watching a couple Porsches right now, but I'm going to tell you right now, in the darkness, I will do my best to tell the difference between a McLaren and a Corvette. Those Mustang headlights, though, or tail lights, are just definitive. I can't tell if they're tapping the wall, if that's just the brakes or the bottom of the car dragging. So McLaren out front, Ford and Mustang in 2nd, Corvette 3rd, Porsche 4th, McLaren 5th, Ferrari in 6th. A great mixture through the top 14 in the field. Oh! If you're going to do it early. You still got time to come back. Now, I'm assuming he's going to give at least one fast repair. Most of the series we've done, most of the races we've done, they always get at least one. Smartest thing to do is to get back to the pits, because it will take that time away from you if you just go right from your spot on the track. So you want to try to get back. No, that's not going to work. Oh, John gets taken out. Plenty of time to come back, John. He's going to win this one. That's what he's been sandbagging all season for, just to come back and make sure he could win this event. Got a few haters out there trying to stop him. But don't worry, John's going to come back. He's resilient. Moore still out front, being followed by Jeffries. Got a couple of Mustangs in the back. You guys know I was going to talk about the Ford Mustang a lot. Jeffries right now, our top Mustang. We got Horchie is also in 13th. Nathan Nickerson in 14th, also running the Ford. Get Nathan running the Ford now. I wonder if he switched teams or he just decided, I'm going to listen to Fry. Which, if you did listen to me and you do bad, I'm not taking any responsibility for that at all. Close battles. Oh, that's a good shot. Bros are working on Kenny. Ooh, or is that Horchie? That's wonder if it's Horky. I actually have a couple customers that their last name is the exact same as that, except with an ER, and it's not pronounced with a ch sound. They get very upset about that. It's a K sound.
Well,
So yeah,
this Horchi is European, so I guess it's Horchi.
yeah, it could be Horchie or Horky.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be Horchie. Horchie sounds better. That's like a good, yeah, it sounds like a good nickname.
Yeah.
Kind of like me, he's got a nickname with that, being his real name. Grosvenor in his, I think he usually runs the McLaren. That's normally his car of choice. No, I think did the timer restart over when they took the green? Yeah, because we were at like 7 minutes. Now we're at 6. So I think, no time had come off. They will run the full 3 hours. I guess maybe they just had a couple warm-up. He gave maybe an extra warm-up lap since the track length and everything. But I think after that first one, everyone was just ready to go. Most of the field still pretty close together. Had a couple scragglers in the rear. I swear this place is just try not to hit a wall and try to go fast at the same time. Part race course, part country road, part street course. This thing is very unique. One of my best memories is watching a kangaroo jump up the track and he couldn't make it over the wall, so he just kept on hopping. So I had to halt the race for a kangaroo. Best reason I've ever heard to halt a race. It was right at this part right here. He couldn't get over the fence, went all the way around until he got right down here at the blue turn and finally made it over. Careful through the dipper. Oh, Nathan Nickerson. I'm sure we're just going to see a replay because his car looks good. Comes Nathan now. Oh, back in right there. Back in comes out. It's something where you come through there with so much speed. You're so hard on the brakes, that back end just starts to get light. When it spins around, there's not much you can do. Absolutely. Well, for the start, we have not had a lot of catastrophic events. We haven't had a lot of offs. Everybody's been pretty on point so far. A little earlier today, we didn't have a race that kind of started out that way, but it seemed to settle down pretty quick. So I don't know, like you said, quiet before the storm. So hopefully it won't get stormier later. This is Team Artem. Now, so what I'm gathering is if we see just their name, I think they do not have a team. They are doing the entire event by themselves. And if they have a team name, so there must be 2 or 3 drivers. I'm assuming they wouldn't go any higher than that. I couldn't imagine a 4-driver field. That'd be so much. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing 3 hours by yourself. I mean, I have to sit here and talk for 3 hours by myself, pretty much. At least I have a little assistance. It's not like driving a car, you know. I can say, hey, listen to this car for a minute. I'm gonna go sit over here. I can take a little hiatus. These guys, it's full concentration for 3 hours. I think after that, I would not want to drive anything. I don't want to use hands, feet. I just want to just nothing. Go stare at the moon. Team Ivan looked like they were in the BMW. Ricky Renner, now he has changed cars. I think he usually runs a Porsche. So he has gone to the McLaren. Should have come to the vet side.
Yeah, I see some ambient slides, so it looks like we're going to get to the morning part. It's done.
Yeah, I wonder if they ran, sort of like, I wonder if can you speed up the time? Because that's usually about how the 12 hours is run. They start early in the morning and then just run till pretty much the sun's going down. But one year it was so foggy at the top of the mountain that you could not see anything. After a couple cars wrecked, they didn't red flag it. The only thing they can do is just kind of drive around. But they waited till there was visibility. Once the sun came out and kind of got the fog out of there, they could see and restarted the race. So I think that year they were like, yeah, we'll try to hold off on starting it as late as we can, but we still want that little bit of darkness in the beginning. I mean, trust me, if I'm driving in this race, I'm like, come on, hurry up. Sunshine, give me visibility. And I wonder if there's like a preference on the lights. If everyone has to run the white lights or if some drivers like the yellow lights. I've been experimenting back and forth. I kind of like the yellow lights now. It's weird. It's like you can't see as much, but it just shows you the track. But what kills me is the white lights behind me. So right now, if I'm Conroy, I'm not real happy about that car behind me. I wouldn't mind the other guy a little further back behind me, but when those lights are right up on me, that's what kills my depth perception. So I will make so many mistakes. So, if you're like me and you're the guy behind me trying to pass me, that, you might use that to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind as long as they're not flashing them. If they're flashing them, that's where it becomes distracting or annoying.
Well, the best way to get around somebody is get right on their rear and just pester them for a while. Make them make a mistake. The days of the tap and run are gone in this day. I was a big fan of it growing up, but it was always a thing. If you do it to somebody, they're going to do it to you as soon as they get a chance. The old school bump and run. Moore still out front. Jeffries in second. Fleming in third. Not much change in our podium spots or our top five. But we're also only 13 minutes in the race, so they're probably all just kind of getting in their rhythm. I'm sure fuel's going to be an issue. Going to have to get new tires on the car. Although these guys always amaze me at how far some of them can go on a set of tires and doesn't even seem to bother them very much. So this is Fleming, or Hatton, Salige? I think that's Salige. Yeah, I think that's Salige. So you got Fleming, Salige, and Hatton. I think Hatton just gave up those 2 spots. And there's no way, like with the Pro and Pro-Am series, you'll always have like color mirrors, you'll have stickers, indicators in some way where the cars know that, hey, I can pass this guy or I need to let him go. They don't have any of that right now. All they know is it's a team car in front of them. They don't know if the driver is a Pro-Am, or just an Am. And I think we're seeing a little give and take right now. Looks like Kenny's going to give up a spot to Horchie. Horchie's now up into the top 10. And those Mustangs moving to the front. Slowly but surely. Folks, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And I mean, I don't know how many more friends you could tell, because I'm not sure how many more people we could fit in the lobby. Because like I said, we don't know how many drivers we have, 2 or 3 per team. I think if we see a single name on their registration, that would be just one guy. Renner already in the pits. That seems like a very early pit stop. We might have had, nope, looks like he's maybe just taking fuel. So maybe getting repaired, getting a little fuel, maybe trying a, I've seen it work before. You try a little backward strategy. If he knows that fuel is going to run out 16 minutes before the finish, he's just going to come in now, get the fuel, and get a nice wide open track. Oh, replay never good. This is George Wieben. Oh, blue corner. Oh. Yeah, raise your hand if you've never done that. You are a liar. This is Devin Allies. Allies? Oh, tap. And Dipper claims the Porsche. That's what can drive you nuts about a team event. You just want to tell your other guy to bring you back a car that you can drive. And you don't want to be the one to wreck it. A lot of pressure on people's shoulders to not wreck the car. Jack Yates with the Zenith Racing Team, car 230. They kind of went all out on the livery. Looks like Ali, I think it's Ali's. He's coming in for the pits. That's probably to repair some of that damage. Corey Jones, got to beat it racing. Little Australian, one of our cars that might have a few drivers with the home track advantage. I swear it's kind of like a culture thing on that side of the world. If you're a racer, then you better know how to race this track. You better have raced on this track. You are not Australian racer until you do. It's like the initiation course. Such high speed coming through there. Oh, you see the wiggle? Oh, use the wall to save it. That is probably the smartest move right there. Because once you get out of line, you're coming all the way around there. You're going somewhere. You just want it to be where a pavement is under you. So Trubetskov. Oh, is that Conroy inside of him? Oh, stop wiggling. I think that's Conroy trying to pass him. Who is that was passing him? Oh, he's in McLaren. Can't tell, was that was for position, wasn't it? Or was that okay, yeah. Was like, hang on, we're not already lapping people, are we? The leader is getting pretty close to the rear of the field, but we've got a few cars, a few stragglers, if you will, that are kind of separated from the main group. Main group is just coming out of turn 1, heading up the mountain. Got another small pack of the leaders going up through the top of the mountain. Julian Moore, this is our leader in the McLaren. Man, he is pushing that thing hard through there. Opened up a pretty good lead on second right now. He can at least look in his mirror through all these corners, and there is no one behind him. Looks like we will be getting us some sunshine. It is getting brighter out, but look how foggy it is. It is definitely foggy. Horchie trying to chase down, I think it was Kenny. A Renner back in 23rd. I think that's because of his pit stop. We'll see if that comes around later on. I'm assuming that most of these guys are not going to make a pit stop. Oh, somebody in the wall. I think that was Newton. Here it is. Sean, that is a weird one. Sean Nizaka. Nisisaka. That is the... And running the Australian flag. I'm not no. I think he himself is representing like 3 countries. Tommy Mulhonen from I think that is Switzerland, and the Ferrari. Yeah, at least it's bright enough that I can tell the difference between a McLaren, a Ferrari, and a Corvette. I mean, very close body style. About the only difference in a few of them is just the lights on the back. Chris Rise, Zenith Team Racing in the Porsche. Chasing down Conroy and the BMW just in front. Helmuth just in front of these guys. He's trying to run away from them. Yeah, I'm sure it was easy to see all our cars that are in black in the nighttime. Sure, that was easy on all the drivers. Some more Jeffries, Fleming, Nisisaka, and Yuhonen are your top 5. Everybody's still well behaved. Again, first stint, first 22 minutes. I think everybody's pretty relaxed now. Well, I say relaxed, but I'm sure they're pushing hard not to hit a wall every single turn. Oh, somebody got in the wall. Oh, trouble. That was almost contact. I'm not sure who that was. It was Daniel Kinney from Team 87. BMW. I'm going to keep calling it the blue corner. Need somebody in chat to tell me the name of the corner. Oh, looks like a battle starting to steam up. Muhanan has Cotton. Nizazaka. I know we have team stats.
No, that's the calendar, but we can share it when
Tap of the wall. Whoa!
We can share it when there's a little less action. We have a really good battle here.
Oh yeah, and Muhanan had no choice. He had to dip below the slower car. He did not want to hit that outside wall. Very smart move, but that's going to let Nisisaka pull out just a little bit more. Just patience, 3-hour race. Muhanan has ran him down. We'll see what happened to Oliver Newton. I think he might have gone in a little too hard on that one. Yep. Oh. No! Got to be easy when you get back on that throttle trying to go forward. It will just spin around somehow in a straight line. I know. I get it too. It drives me crazy. Oh, too fast into the dipper. Oh! No! Oh. And Wieben unfortunately takes out a couple of cars along with himself. Muhanen has now gotten around Nisisaka. So I wonder if we're starting to see some tires starting to wear, some guys being a little harder on the tires than others. Maybe other drivers are saving that fuel, trying to make it a 3-stop instead of a 4, or a 2 instead of a 3. However many pit stop these guys are going to make. Still a long race to go, and we get to see driver changes at some point. As we know, at least a few of them have 2 to 3 driver members. Michael Jeffries in for Triple Stint Racing. 25 minutes in seems a little bit early, but we'll start to see how these strategies unfold as the race goes on. Ricky Renner will be a guy to keep an eye on. I think he came in for damage at the 15-minute mark, but he has now kind of offset himself from the entire field. That is usually a way to win a race, because if you're right, nobody else did what you did. But if you're wrong, yeah, everyone else did what they should have done and you didn't. So it can go either way for sure. Conroy still working on Helmuth with a little bit of company behind him. This is definitely a track where you don't want to see another car. You want all the track to yourself, no pressure from anybody. Maybe you just want to chase somebody down so you go faster. But it is not a place where there's like a lot of slipstream. It's more of just trying not to hit another car or the wall. Is Uday Hunty? I'm not pronouncing that name with a K sound. There's no way I'm doing that. Yeah, no, I'm not saying the word Hunty with a K sound.
Yeah.
You know? I just said at the start of the stream I haven't been to HR, and here we are. We're going to HR. Mr. Reese is going to be very upset. Moore still out front, Jeffries in second, Fleming in third, Muhanen now in fourth, and Nisisaka in fifth. Jones in sixth and Kerr in seventh. Not much changing around the top 10. Renner still in the back, up to 20th now, had dropped back to 23rd. Made an early pit stop to repair some damage. We'll see how long it'll take him to get back to the front. But depending on what's going to happen with this race, he is offset from everyone else. So he has either made a really smart move or he's going to need a little luck at the end. The good news is we're 2 hours and 32 minutes from figuring that out. So we have absolutely plenty of time. Whoa! Conroy goes wide. Looks like Helmuth will stay out front. I think he was working on him, but that was definitely not the way to get around, and now he's lost a spot. Yeah, I'm going to try it. Kavazov. Yeah. Either that or it's Bozov. Corey Jones, there's a name. Forgot to beat it racing. Macias Million?
Yeah. Just Maximilian works.
He went with the triple. Woo! Easy. Still holding on to 6. Jones right behind him. Retro Coffin and now in 8th. So I think Ricky Renner and Retro Coffin are both running this race by themselves. They will not have any driver assistance. And that's when the fatigue is starting to set in. I know at the end of about a 2-hour race for me, I'm looking at the clock going, okay, just 15 more minutes, just 15 more minutes. Let's keep going. I start pushing myself. These guys are gonna have another hour after that. That's a deep breath and to get yourself ready. So coming up 30-minute mark now. Should be pitting anywhere between, 15 minutes from now and the next 30 minutes. See how long they can go on a stint of fuel. We'll start getting all our data together to see if we can figure out what they're doing and how they're going to plan to make it to the end of this race before everyone else does. I know it'll not be tapping the wall like that. Oh, that is wicked. And now breathe. You got to take a breath after that. I swear, every lap you just hold your breath through there. As this place is so frustrating. It says you're a second behind, but you can see that car right there. Going hard into that corner. Well, it looks like Kerr's got just a little bit more pace than Jones, but I think Jones has caught up to him a few times. Maybe trying to make a good pit stop pass. So Moore up 7 seconds over Jeffries. Another 2 seconds to Fleming. And it looks to be that Muhanen is working his way into a podium spot right now. He is catching Fleming. Watching a battle right now. Helmuth trying to hold off Kazaa. Oh, defensive line. It's covering turn one. Conroy trying to catch back up from them. Looks like he had a moment. A little wide into turn one. Well, we got a blinking car back there. Looks like Yates might be blinking. Wow, getting very defensive going into turn two. Yo. Okay, I'm not sure if he lost his front end or not. I was waiting to see. I think there was a little frustration in that pass. I think Artem was not very happy about that. Retro's still sticking it out with the Porsche. He's not giving up his Porsche. And Horchie right behind him. Horchie's been moving his way up to the front. Starting to see these guys getting that rhythm and get that pace set up. Moore is definitely in a lot of pace. He's now 8 seconds up. Jeffries in second, Fleming in third. All spaced out. So now it'll be interesting if Moore's got that pace and he's handing this car off to someone maybe after the first stint or second stint. What's that going to do to the race? How's that going to change the pace of everyone? Because we don't know if they have a driver that is of equal pace, slower pace, or, much slower pace. I'm imagining not much slower. And Horchie is trying his best to get around Retro. And I'll tell you, Retro's not an easy guy to pass. He's a very clean racer, but he's not going to give it up easy. The downside is Retro, you do have a Mustang behind you. Like a tank, I'm going to have to invent like the Mustang flag, We'll wave it so you have to let them through. Oh, getting cheeky. Horchie letting them know, hey, I'm here, and hey, I would like to go in front of you now. And it's so hard. There is not a way to pass through here. Unless the guy in front of you has a mistake and he just knows he's got to let you go by. there's not any good passing opportunity through this whole mountain. You basically got the straightaways and the ground level area, if you will, to get a pass done. So hard to stay so close to somebody all the way through here. Yeah, he'll try to get it done at the end of this straight if he can get a good run off. Use that slipstream. Not going to help him out. That Retro's getting the slipstream from the car in front of him. Yeah, Jones has now fallen off of Kerr and has now starting to kind of fall back into Retro and Horchie. Yeah, I'm wondering about, you know, the pace, the tires, how hard they're pushing the car. These will be the interesting things to figure out. And also when somebody else gets in the car, you know, I would be the guy tearing up the tires and running it out of gas. So, you know, might not get as many laps as, say, my teammate can get out of the car. So we've got a little 3-car battle going on now. They're looking to take that spot from Corey Jones. He's lost about 4 seconds to Kerr. Top 5's kind of spaced out now. Looks like they're all kind of sitting in their own little gaps. Mahanen has gotten a little closer to Fleming, but not by much. Probably close enough to see him get frustrated that you can't catch him. Starting to get into that weird thing where there is a car everywhere on the track. Uh-oh. Not Hatton. Yeah, it's too fast. Yeah, that is the worst place to sit. Oh, please go. Don't hit nothing. Yeah, don't do that. Oh. This is a tough place. Matthew Hatton driving the Corvette. Corey Jones in the Porsche, followed by another Porsche, followed by a tank-looking Mustang. God, that is foggy. Man, I know we said, like, you know, it's daytime and there should be sunshine, but I haven't seen no sunshine yet. I'm seeing cloudy, overcast conditions. This track is not going to warm up, which means it might not get as slippery, but with dewy conditions, it could get pretty slippery. Oh, Retro in the pits. Now, we know Retro's not pitting for damage. We're assuming that he didn't get any along the way throughout the first stint. So we might, this might be the strategy. Oh, it was close. I thought he was going to dive. I thought he was going to dive it in there. Oh, starting to see some pit stops now. Yeah, treacherous pit road. You talk about trying not to get a penalty, good luck. It is definitely not a favorite among anyone trying to come down to that speed and then make those 2 little left to rights and then go into the pits. I have acquired many penalties at this one. Byron, Cotiers. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Coetzer? We'll go with Coetzer. Sounds about right. Yeah, I want to see who's the who can go the longest. You know, sort of playing in that game. Who can stretch the fuel? Who can save the tires? Right now, yeah, it looks like Moore's that guy. He is definitely out front by a good margin. But there is still a long way to go in this race, so there is no telling when he could crash or something could happen.
Well, let's not jinx him.
No jinx, no jinx. I mean, Chris ain't even here, so, you know, there's no jinx available.
Exactly.
You know, that whole commentator's curse jinx thing, that's a Chris thing all day. I'm not responsible for none.
We don't have that power, no.
Only Chris has the power.
Maybe that's his superpower.
I'm telling you, gotta be. See, anytime I talk about people, they just seem to do really good and better all the time. That's why we try to show everybody.
That's a good superpower as well.
Right. Oh, here's a little gaggle of cars. Ricky Renner tied up with Jeffries and Coetzer. The Retro right behind them. And he has already made a pit stop, so Retro will be looking to get by every single one of these cars. Man, that's pretty good. He made a stop, and he's only back in 17th. The interesting part will be, you know, who, when the leader pits, will they gain any spots? Will they pass, you know, catch all that ground that since they've been running out and already made their stop? Because I'm assuming if you already made a stop, you had to take less fuel. But yeah, usually about 45 minutes to an hour is what a GT car can run. Wow, going way up high. I think that was the Liege. Ooh. That was Jeffries. Yep. Tap the wall. I knew he was going to do it. Tap that wall. Love tapping that wall. Got to repaint that thing by the end of the race. The side of my car will no longer have paint on it. Oh, jumps the curb. Through the dipper. You see how much faster Renner was than Salige through that part of the track. Now Renner looking to get a good run, get the slipstream. Salige has no draft help in front of him, so what kills me about this is it's like by the time you get the slip and you get that momentum, you're already at the bottom of the hill. You see he's just now getting the momentum to get alongside as you go into the turn. Whoa, Salige way on the brakes early. He's got 2 spots on that one. He got on the brakes real early. I definitely didn't want to wreck, so, I mean, I know he doesn't want to lose too many spots, but he might, yeah, he's going to lose another one right here. So Salige just drops 3 spots. Coetzer, Jeffries, and Renner all move up. Moore still out front. Jeffries gaining a little bit of time. Moore might have had a little mistake here at the top of the hill. Only up by another half second, or down by a half second. Yeah, it looks like our top guys, top 7 or 8, I think have pretty much stayed about the same. Jones has started to kind of fall back now. Trebestov is in 9th. Kozov in 10th, and Conroy have all been kind of together. Got a few little interesting battles on track so far. There's Jack Jeffries, Attitude Esports. There's Byron Coetzer, BC Racing. It's a pretty livery. Hopefully he can keep it that way before he hands the car off to somebody else. Yeah, it's got to be pretty bad. You can look at the car and be like, you did this and I did this. You hit the wall there and I hit the wall there. Yeah, I think so far Moore has put himself out front to say, hey, this race is ours. We will take it. And so far, I don't think we've had anybody go a lap down. I don't think the leaders have come around I don't think they're even actually. Yeah, they're catching the last lowest 3 little stragglers right now. So a few cars may lose their lap here. I think there he is. Retro is our first car to pit in 17th. I think anyone above him has not. Yeah, we're still going to call that guy Hunty with an H. Yeah, Moore's still going. 45 minutes so far. No stop for him or the top 7, 8, 9. So interesting to see. That's why I said if they might be able to do it in 2 stops. I think that's what a lot of guys are going to try to do. Kind of come down to that last lap. See if they have enough fuel left in the car to go one more round if the timer runs out. That's always the thing. Cross the line at 3 seconds, but you still got to do a whole nother lap now. Moore, Jeffries, Fleming, Muhanen, Nishizaka, your top 5. Jones now in the pits, one of our top runners. So he's only at 46 minutes. Now the reason I bring up the 46 minutes is, well, I think it was it Renner? Yeah, it was Ricky Renner who came in at a 15-minute mark, probably just to fix some damage, but we did notice he took some fuel. If we start seeing everybody come in the pits right now with 15 minutes left to go, I think what he did was go ahead and get his short pit out of the way now, and he's going to do his two long stints after this. He might be right okay if everyone has to start pitting now for fuel, because by the math, you'd have 2 hours and 45 minutes. You'd have to come in and pit with that last remaining 15 minutes. So if he can do like a big fuel run right here in the middle or something, he might be able to keep his pace up, but also spend less time on pit road and make up some of that time. So we never know. It's we're going into the first hour. Ricky Renner has been the first one to pit. We'll see if this strategy works out for him. Retro's not far behind him, gaining the spot over Salige. Not sure what's happening to Salige. He is just dropping backwards now. Dropped at least 4 or 5 spots in the last 2 laps. Not sure if the tires are wearing. Yeah, I mean, Salige has gone pretty far. But also you look at, the guys above him, they're still running on the tires. They're still running. I mean, Moore's now gained a little more time back that he lost. Everyone in the top, let's see, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th have all just come into pits. So everybody's in the pits right about the 48-minute mark. So it looks like Ricky Renner has done a little something here, and he might have just done a little strategy move to get himself some open track by doing a short pit stop at the beginning of the race in the first 15 minutes. Everyone else has come in about 30 minutes or after. Seeing most everybody come in right now at the 48-minute mark, which means they will have to do at least 3 pit stops. And some of the cars have multiple teams. Some of them are by themselves, and I think the guy on pit road missed the stop. I'm not sure. I don't think he knows where his pit stop is. The bad news is his team is probably yelling at him, "It's over there! It's over there! Go over there! Back up! Back up!" He's in the car just going, "Oh." It's not like there's a guy out there waving a sign at you telling you to go right here. Oh, God, he probably ran over the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't no sign now.
Yeah, as a driver,
More,
you do see a guy.
more is in the pits. Leader is in the pits. So obviously he will take in 4 tires and fuel. Now we should see at least some driver changes. Not sure how they're going to do this as far as each guy running like 1 stint each. If they're going to do double stint, and then maybe one guy finishes, maybe one guy does a double stint to finish. No clue. So we all get to find that out together. So top 3 now in the pits. So it looks like 50 minutes is about as far as you can go on a tank of fuel. That's the furthest anybody's made it in our field so far. Definitely 3 pit stops, but I think Ricky Renner making that early pit stop to get himself out of traffic and get himself some open track to come in. We still don't know if he just maybe did it to fix the damage, but he came in to get the fuel. I know he didn't take tires, so his tires have got to be a little worn when he comes in to make his next stop, but he will be offset from this entire field. Retro Coffin is the other one that came in about 30-minute mark. He's a little offset as well. Most of the field, rest of the field is just about a lap or 2 apart, nothing real great in their separation. But 48 minutes versus 50 minutes, that's an entire lap. So some of these guys have at least 1 to 2 to 3 more laps of fuel than some of your other competitors that have pit early. So we're starting to see the strategies begin to unfold. Moore has lost about 2 seconds, 3 seconds almost, on his overall time that he had before the pit stop. So it looked like Jeffries had a little more fuel, was able to close in just a little bit. But unless somebody can knock Moore off of his podium, it is his race to lose. Salige now in the pits. So he went 51 minutes, but I'm not sure if he was saving that much fuel. He lost too much track time and too much time. He should have just come in the pits. I don't. If he was that slow, I don't think it was worth gaining, or losing 3 or 4 spots and kind of backing yourself up. It's always nice to save more fuel than everybody else, but at the same time, you just can't lose time. But we have 2 Jeffries. Trying to find, where did he go? Oh, so Corey Jones has dropped all the way to 11th. He was running in 7th place. Jeffries, Coetzer, and Coffin have now all moved into the top 10, and Eileen is now in the top 10. Okay, I think this is a new driver. Yep, so we did have at least 1 driver change. See, we're going to spot him. Looks like everyone stayed in the car except for Eileen, who is one of our new drivers. Everybody else is still on the same stint. We have Max Siegert. He has switched out from Helmuth. Yeah, Helmuth. Helmuth was driving the car. Siegert now jumps in. So we'll see if Siegert is here for 1 stint or if he was going to take it to the end. This is interesting to see everybody swapping out cars and drivers. From what I remember, out of our grid, our top 4 are all team. I don't think any of them are doing the 3 hours solo. So we should see some driver changes in the next stint from the top 4. I think so. I know Renner's running by himself. Kerr, Jeffries, and Jones, I believe, are also all running on a team. So we should see some new drivers coming into the race on the next pit stop, which will be about 50 minutes from now. Because I'm assuming they're going to run about the same length on the track. Oh, Rice. Yeah. There's a couple of Zenith Racing cars out there. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. So, I mean, you got to think just one team running multiple drivers. They've got 10 to 12 drivers right now. That's how many drivers we got to keep up. It's not just the fact there's 40 cars in the field. There are multiple drivers per car in the field. We haven't made it through all the names yet.
Oh yeah, Chris races with Jacob Fury, but Jacob hasn't gotten into the car yet.
And also maybe that's a thing that they put 2 drivers in the car to assure that at least someone would be there to race if one of these other guys had a family day or had some other issue that they couldn't make the race. At least you knew you had one guy that could be there. So we might see some of that. Oh, he is tapping walls. Once you get offline and tap one, you're going to tap a few of them. Luckily, he's going to escape. Is that Lemkin has taken over for Conroy. So Conroy is out of the 87 BMW. Lemkin will jump in. Fleming, Kenny, and Saliege are still in the car doing their first stint. Looks like John Cannon has gotten out of his car. Terrell Lance has taken over. We should have John come in here and talk with us. I would say invite him, but I'm pretty sure he can just come in here if he wants to. I have no power over this man. He can do it as he pleases. So Moore still out front, still pulling away. Jeffries in second. Mohanan has moved up into third. Ricky Renner has moved up to fourth. Kerr has moved up to fifth place. So that is your top 5 right now, all running different makes, I believe. Yeah, I think we have a McLaren, a Ford. I can't remember what Mohanan was running. Renner is definitely in a Porsche. Or I'm sorry, Renner's in the. He's in the McLaren. Retro's in the Porsche. Speak of the devil. Oh, what are we gonna see? Uh-oh. It never works. You try to make it work and it don't. I want to see my Mustangs do good, but I don't want to see you do it like that. Got to do it a little more cleanly, but this place is frustrating. There is 3 turns you can pass on. After that, you're pretty much just riding around the top of the mountain behind somebody. Nisasaka. And the second reason this is like the worst turn to get stuck on. It's not just that people are coming at you. There's nowhere to go, and you're going to get hit. It's that right there. It's hard to turn around in that little area. You got to 3 or 4 point turn that thing, and you can't spin the car around because you'll just hit the wall. Okay, I thought we were watching a replay again. I was like, no! So Renner up to fourth. Now he is on an offset strategy. He came in the 15-minute mark, so he should not pit again until we hit the hour 15 mark, or close to that, by hour 10, hour 15, something like that. Whoa! Somebody's going bye-bye. I think that was that Kerr? I think Kerr just had a big moment. Yep. It to the grass and to the wall. Yeah, it's inevitable. Ping pong. And what sucks is he wrecked before he gets to this little runoff area where if you can, you just go in there and slam on the brakes so you don't hit nothing. But he wrecked before all of that. Not helping. Ricky Renner having a really good run right now up into fourth. Siegert has now some fresh arms behind the wheel. It's just for speed racing. So we got fresh tires, fresh driver. Some good fuel. He's looking to make a run to the front now. And we'll figure out. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure that Moore and Jeffries, Muhanan, these guys are the top drivers on the team that they're on. But we don't know that yet. We're going to have to wait to see who the second driver is and how fast they are. And that's going to be that could flip this race upside down. But usually you finish with your stronger driver. So if Moore's got somebody faster than him getting in the car, everybody's in trouble.
Yeah, Moore is going to share with Kevin Chartier. So it's going to be interesting to see if Kevin is even faster than Gillian.
Yeah. Because you always think, there's no way he's faster, right? I mean,
yeah.
Seeger has a moment right there.
Yeah, and Gillian is going to hand him the car with 15 seconds gap.
Yeah. For now. For now. He could. I mean, we got a long way to go. Just completing the first hour of the race, 2 hours to go. A little bit of strategy, a little bit of play from a few drivers so far. Nothing really changing in your top three. Moore, Jeffries, and Muhanan. Muhanan took over the position. I can't remember. I know it was Cody. Why is Retro done? Retro was doing good. Did he wreck? I know he had that little rub, but that was about it. But maybe he just didn't want to do the full 3 hours. The length of the race might have gotten to him a little bit, but that's what the endurance race is. That's why it is nice to have a teammate, somebody that can drive the car for you. But oh yeah, I'm sure he wasn't happy about that. Still a long way to go in the race, but I can understand. Don't have to agree, but can understand. And here comes a little gaggle. Vestov, Coetzer, Fleming, Denny. Oh, Kenny's trying to gain some of this back. Kenny's had a pretty good run. He's just had a couple little, that outside moment going into turn 2 was definitely not helping him out. Here comes, is that Coaster coming in? Nope, Kozov. Kozov is in. I don't know why Lampkin's in. He must have had some damage on the car. Lampkin just took over the driving duties. Ooh, that didn't work before. This is Jeffries and Island. Island got a little aggressive on that turn, and the last time it did not work out too well. Don't want to see anybody trying to kind of punch you out of the way. So Island's now in the top 5, Jeffries in 6th, Jones in 7th, Trubaskov in 8th. Her has dropped all the way down to 9th, and Max Seeger is your top 10. So now we'll have to see how it plays out over the next 50 minutes. Yeah, Retro, it is a long race. Wish you hadn't bailed, but we understand. I gotta tell you, I don't know if I could do a 3-hour race by myself. I'd probably start hitting stuff after the second hour. Not out of anger or anything. It's just, get tired. you don't have that same pace you had when you were fresh, when you got in the car and you were excited to start doing it.
Yeah.
After that work starts getting on you, man, the fatigue starts setting in.
Yeah, same. Yeah, no, my ADD just doesn't let me. I get distracted way easily, and after 45 minutes, yeah, I'm not even focused. So why?
Start thinking about stuff you got to do tomorrow.
Exactly.
Did I eat
Yeah.
dinner? What should I get for dinner? I don't know. You have stuff to do. Yeah, we all do it. It's try having two TVs in your living room and you're watching a sporting event while you're racing. That can get me. Yeah, I've had somebody ask me how do I do it, and I said I always look over down the straightaway and I'll see what the score is, and then I go back to the racing, and then the next lap I'll look over again. But yeah, it can definitely be distracting. And Moore's already up to a 15-second lead. I'm thinking in the next 15 minutes he might have that thing up to 20 seconds. But again, we don't know who's taking over that car after him. Now, there is no requirement for it. He could just run the whole race. We do know that he is one of the drivers that's set up with a team, so he will be handing the car off if that second driver is going to participate. But like we said, we don't know if, they registered a couple drivers to make sure they could participate, but maybe one of the drivers had something to do and they just couldn't make it.
No, yeah,
So
the rule
we'll
said
find
you
all
could
that
do
out
it.
shortly.
Yeah, the rule said you could do it yourself or with a teammate. So
Yep.
a lot of guys just register by themselves. Gabriel Crozier, Jack Yates, Oliver Newton, Jamie Fleming. A lot of guys are by themselves. But Gillian Moore is paired with Kevin Chartier. So I assuming
Well,
Kevin is going to have the final couple stints.
well, like we said, we'll see. We have no idea if he called last minute and said nope, or if he was like, "Yep, I can do it." We have
Yeah.
no idea. So we'll find out in about the next 46 minutes. It is, it's interesting because one guy might be able to get better tires and fuel out of the car, whereas the other guy can't do that the same. So, maybe Moore's out there just going as fast as he can to build up a gap so that his next driver might not be as quick. We don't know.
Yeah, for
Uh,
example, Retro register signed up by himself, so that makes it easier when you just want to park the car like he did. He doesn't need to keep
yeah,
driving for someone else.
no, and there's definitely times where the fatigue set in. You're tired. You're like, I'm gonna go to sleep now. I just can't. I've had many races where I'm a little under the weather. I'm gonna try to do it, and no matter how hard you push, you're just 2 seconds off the pace. You're just slow. You're like, yeah, I just can't. It just doesn't have it in me.
Yeah, for example, Jack Jeffries in second place, he's by himself, so he won't have anyone
Oh,
taking off for him.
so Jeffries may be trying to play the long game. Ricky Renner is in a little bit earlier than I thought. Renner's pitting at the 108 mark. So he is offset from everybody else, so that is a planned stop. We'll see what his drop is now. That'll be interesting to see. He did come in pretty early on, first 15 minutes of the race. I think he was running about midfield when he came in. But when he came in, I think just to fix some damage, he got that free track, and that gave him a lot of time to make up. I think currently right now he sits in 8th place. That is not a bad fall off. The problem he has, though, is trying to make up some of this time that the leaders are getting on him, and they are pretty fast. So a little battle between, looks like Rise, Coaster, and Kenny. Oh, somebody just went off in the back. Whoa! See a car dodging him in the background right there. I think that was Fleming that just had a moment. Sure who that was. Look at that fog. There is no sunshine around. It is just foggy, overcast, blah. That is some weather as no. Make it sunshiny and greasy. eat up some tires. Everybody likes a really slick racetrack, right? Little battle for Coaster. I think Coaster has a teammate. Not sure about. Yeah, I think Kenny has a teammate as well. Interesting to see all these new drivers that we're going to get. I'm expecting to see anyway. Not sure if we actually will get to see them. Yeah, Coaster's by himself. That's the other thing, man. God, I'm, when we get to the end of this thing, we're going to see some of that fatigue starting to set in for some of these guys that have done the full 3 hours by themselves. Yeah, Lampkin went back in the pits. Not sure why. Oh, we have 2 Lampkins. Oh, that won't make it confusing at all. Oh, this is Daniel Kinney. Still riding behind his buddies Rise and Coater. I want to see, I think Renner's going to get back up into his 4th place spot after all these pits come around. But he didn't seem to run as far on the fuel as our top 3. I think our top 3 all had more, probably about 2-3 laps difference. So Renner might be pushing the car pretty hard to stay where he is. Rise going to give way to Daniel Kinney. Kinney going to move up a spot, still chasing down Coaster. Fleming and Hunty. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to say it with a K when the first initial is a U. You really? Oh, you Hunty. Oh. Uh-huh. You see what I'm saying? I can't win this battle. And this is when the last time they pit, lap 24, 24, 23, 23. Jeffrey's at 12. So Jeffries will need to come in pretty soon. He might be right after. Looks like Kenny and Rise. I didn't know they came in the pits that early. See, we missed some of the guys coming in. Well, we had a lot of action and battles and people moving around everywhere. All this craziness happening. Now it's sort of like the quiet craziness of, is he going to hit the wall? Did he almost tap the wall? Did he almost wreck again? Because that seems to be the mantra going on right now. So you see the top 4, as far as pit stops go, only a lap apart, which is a good 2 minutes of fuel, depending on how much they actually had when they came in. If they were a little too low or, had it right on. So we'll see Jeffries in the pits, I'm assuming, in the next 10 minutes. Jones, Trubetstoff. We got to see if he has a teammate and if the name is going to be harder to pronounce than his. Oh, he's on his own. So we got, oh, whoa. Kenny got close to that wall. That's my favorite one. I don't know what it is about that corner. I always love to hit the grass and then hit the outside wall and then keep going straight. It seems to be a pretty good balance. And we got one guy hanging out in the pits. He had some work to do. Nope, that one. Oh, Nathan Nickerson. Oh, here he is. Jeffries. As Jeffries in the pits for his schedule. Oh, wait, that wasn't him. That was somebody else that went in. Who was that went in the pits? Weeben. No, wow. Why is he back in the pits if he pit on 31? Yeah. And getting tires as well. That can't be a fuel or racing strategy. That's got to be either a driver change. Like we talked about, if you run with somebody else and all of a sudden you just got in the car, but you got something happened, you got to go, they got to take the rest of the race, you got to come back in the pits and change out the driver. It's the only way to do it. So, yeah, you might see a second driver of that car for the rest of the race. And, yeah, that was Nathan Nickerson. His handle name is This Is Death. Oh, what happened? Oh, turn one? Wow. At least here you can spin the car around. I'm not sure if you towed or what would just happen right there, but yeah, that's might have just driven around on that one. So Corey Jones has now sort of made his way back up to 6th. Jeffries in front of him will have to pit soon if he has. No, he has not already. You see a good 10 lap difference in their fuel right there. But yeah, if he pit on 12, I mean, he should be coming in any minute. I don't even know how he's still out there not running on fumes. Corey Jones holding the spot. Trebeskov is looking to take that from him. We got a Porsche versus a Mercedes. Everybody's favorite hairpin turn. I say that with a lot of sarcasm. Oh, and look who just joined us in the room. Everybody, put your hands together. We have royalty in the room. Introducing Mr. John Cannon.
By all means, go ahead and bow down now.
So how was your first stint, John?
The first stint wasn't too bad. It kind of sucked getting run off the road and then having to repair the car real quick. But other than that, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, so I mean, while we got you here, you can answer some questions for us because there's a lot of things that we don't know. Obviously, as you said, everybody does get one fast repair.
No, we actually get 3.
Oh, you're giving out 3 fast repairs. Look at that.
Yeah. I was very generous this go around because it is an endurance race. Give more chances to hopefully get back on the track.
Yeah.
And right now, we look at my team. We've already burned 2 of them, so hopefully Terrell doesn't put in the wall anymore.
So, how many drivers do you have on your team?
It's just me and Terrell Lance. That's it.
All right, so you just got 2. Now, we've talked about this. There's no requirement. No one is required to run 2 drivers, 3, or just be by themselves. It's all up in the air. So we see guys mixing it up. We've got couple drivers out there by themselves. Most of them we're assuming have 2 drivers. Maybe there's some out there that have 3 drivers. How interesting do you think that's going to make the racing?
As far as 3 drivers, I don't think any team should have 3. It's only a maximum 2. But 1 or 2 drivers is, like you said, it's totally up to them, however they want to do it. But I don't know. I mean, I can't drive 3 hours straight. That's why I picked up a partner. But for some guys they can do it, so that's better on them. I don't know how well it's going to play into their strategy, because everyone hopefully shouldn't have to, or should be pitting, for tires and fuel and stuff like that. Because I did, reduce the fuel limit on everyone's car. Plus, we also had the initial BOP for the 12 hours of Sebring, or not Sebring, but Bathurst, which is coming up next week. Me and Lance are running that, by the way. But anyway, so I was looking at my team. I thought maybe you guys were watching me. I was like, oh no. But anyway, that's how everyone is. So everyone at least should. I mean, they should be pitting. But as far as their strategy goes, I don't know how everyone's doing it. Me and Lance are doing something totally different than everyone else.
Yeah, we've seen a little short strategy by Renner coming in at the 15-minute mark to short stop the car. I think he might have had some damage, so might have just kind of came up with that on the fly. We don't know yet. But the longest we've seen anybody run is 50 minutes. And that was not by the leaders. Leaders only ran about 48 minutes. So
okay. Yeah, that's
everybody's
kind of hoping
at,
it was going to be.
We're kind of looking at that 3 pit stop. One of those pit stops is probably going to be a short fuel for everyone. Not really sure how the tires are wearing, things like that. But it is making this race very interesting to see who's doing what with the fuel and the tires, who's saving, who's just pushing hard. We're already starting to kind of see things funnel out from our first stint, and a lot of drivers, we're assuming that most of the teams have 2 drivers. I think we had at least 6 drivers that are just doing it by themselves. No one really changed to their second driver after that first stint. Only 2 or 3 drivers changed out. So we should see a lot of driver changes on this upcoming pit stop. So that could really turn this race upside down, because we don't know how fast these guys are.
Right, exactly.
I'm
kind of hoping they'll slower than me, so that way we can make our way back up to the top 10 or so.
Yeah, and it's like IMSA and WEC, they could always have some requirements where your slower driver starts and your faster driver ends. So we have no idea if these second guys are going to be the faster or the slower guys, because depending on how they wanted to start the race and how they did their strategy. Also, no minimal time requirements. If you want to have a guy come in for 15 minutes, run one stint, and then he's done for the day, you can do that. So we don't even know how they're managing their time yet on this. So everything's still unfolding as we're only an hour 22 into the race. But overall, how are you feeling about the attendance?
I'm actually pretty surprised that we got as many as we did. I was figuring we were probably going to have at least a third of them not show up at all. But on the event page on SimGrid, it had, I think it was 37 or 38 that were signed up. So, and we started with 30, I believe. So that's pretty good. Only 8 didn't show up. So I'm, pretty shocked that we got that many.
And only 40 cars, but multiple drivers in those 40 cars. So we have a lot of drivers. You know how many names that is for me to get wrong? I think this was a setup.
27.
Yeah. So there is one guy on here, and I'm pretty sure that you guys made up this name because you've been trying to get me to say it the whole time. And I'm not gonna. But he is currently running in 13th. He is part of Zenith Racing, junior car number 27.
Oh, God, now you gotta make me look, because I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to make you look, because guess what number's on the car, too?
Is that your favorite number, too?
No, it ain't my favorite number, but it's a number.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that name, but...
You want to say it with a K sound on the front of it?
I think the H is silent.
I'm pretty sure it's you hunting me down. That's what it stands for. That's what we've been going with. I've already been to HR, seen Miss Teresa, so we're getting through.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure HR is going to have something to do with this. In fact, I'm sure they're probably coming down right now to yell at all of us.
I saw that and said, no, that's a name I'm not trying. I can butcher the rest of them. So, John, your European Challenge. What's the next season looking like, and what kind of fun stuff do you have in store for us?
So it's a good thing you brought that up because I was going to mention something about that too. We do have that next European season for the GT Sprint Series. That's coming. That's it, March 7th. Yeah, March 7th. It's 9 rounds, and it is a mix of. I mean, it's all European track, so there's a good chance that we're gonna have rain on at least 2 of them, but it is possible for every single other one of them. So if you don't really like racing in the rain, chances are it's not going to be the series for you. But there are some really cool prizes. We're going to give out the same trophies we did last season. Speaking of that, I still got to send 2 of them out of the country because the company that I had doing that, they didn't want to ship it out of the country, so I got to figure out how to do that. And one of them's going to Germany. I'm not really looking forward to that. But in any case,
welcome to Chris's world.
I know. I was just thinking that too.
Don't tell them it's money. Don't tell them it's money. It's a prize or a sock or something.
Right, exactly. But we have the GT3 Pro and then GT3 AM classes again. So if you're under a certain iRating, you have to be in the AM class, which that's fine with me because that gives the AMs some competition. Also, the 3 AMs that were P1, P2, and P3 last season, they've been promoted to Pro. So if they join us next season, they will be either in the back of the field, or heck, they might even be up in the front of the field. I'm not entirely sure. But so in any case, that's what it is right now. It's Friday nights, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So if you have nothing going on Friday nights, feel free to join us because we'd love to have you on the grid.
I'm sure you got some kind of fuel you're going to throw out there, maybe some tire stuff you're going to throw out there. I would love if you just made it everyone change tires. That'd just be great. How about like a race just so nobody can drive fry crazy?
I would love to do that, but the only unfortunate thing is you can't force a tire stop.
Really?
You can do fuel all day long, but you cannot force a tire change issue or requirement. It's not like ACC or I don't know what other game. I think there's maybe AMS2 may do it. I don't know. But you could force a tire.
GT7 has an option because they have 3 different tire compounds. You just make them. You require 1 compound. That's usually how that works. But I mean, the one thing they don't have would be like you want to set the lobby up to just run 1 tire. You can't just make them go change tires. There's no way to do that. You just turn the setting up to make sure they burn them off or something. But yeah, I wish that is one setting that every sim had would just Trubaskov getting right into the back of him. I think that was Corey. What happened to Weeben? But that's one thing I wish each sim would put in, just to make people change tires.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I would love to see more like like a GT World Challenge type of thing where you could change tires and make people do that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you can't right now.
Especially like this sim, you can go in and change 1 tire or 2, or fronts and rears, and you can kind of mix it up. So I like that. Like in the V8 supercars, they'll make them change tires. And when they say that, you can literally go in there and change your right rear tire and drive off, but you still have to at least change 1 tire. So I wish they would do something like this in the sim, because it's available that they can change 1 tire or all 4 or anything in between. So yeah, that's one thing I wish they would really adapt, and that way I would be happy. Everyone would have at least 1 fresh tire.
I know you're very upset that everyone doesn't take tires every single race. I mean, the only other way to make that happen would make every race blistering hot, but in
Yeah.
Europe it doesn't get that hot, so it's kind of hard to do there.
Yeah, the sunshine has definitely not come out today. We've had a very foggy, day. How was the nighttime driving into our foggy daytime? How was the vision for you?
It wasn't too bad. It was actually a lot lighter than I expected, just because the light was reflecting off the fog. But it kind of makes me mad that it was fogged over. It was actually supposed to be a really nice sunny day, and we were supposed to have a nice sunrise over skyline, but fortunately that didn't happen.
Well, that's what you get for listening to the weatherman.
I know.
10% chance of or I'm sorry, you had a 90% chance of a sunny day, and you didn't get one. So that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
how it always works. Now, if it was 10%, yeah, man, it'd be sunshiny right now. And
Oh
if
yeah,
you
for
live,
sure.
and if you lived where I do, it would be raining, but completely sunny, not a cloud in the sky. That'll trip you out.
Mm-hmm.
Got to wear your sunglasses in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
But this race so far has been very good. Moore's still out front. As I told you, he's built up about a 20-second gap now. Jeffries is 20 seconds behind him. Island is 52 seconds back.
Wow.
So it is Moore's race to lose at this point. And that's why we were interested to see who the next driver is, because if he's the faster driver, he might be building a gap so that the second driver won't have to maybe go as far and just hold the pace. So we'll see how that kind of works out as they come into this other stint. But
I think he
the
only
rest
has
of
one
the guys
driver.
are so close. Moore, I think Moore's got well, and here's what we talked about. So Moore has a teammate. However, he registered a teammate. But if something happened and teammate had some family stuff or stuff to do and he didn't make the race, well, then, yeah, we don't know if that second driver is going to race, even if they're registered.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, making things a little more interesting. So we're waiting to see. We still got about another 20 minutes to go before we see a lot of our top three come into the pits. But we should see a lot of driver changes this time. Most of the drivers or teams that registered with two drivers have not switched out on that first stint. So it's going to be a little more interesting as we go on. Renner has now moved his way back up to 7th, which is surprising after his pit stop out of 4th place that he dropped back down to 8th place and has now gained one spot back up. Renner, I think, is our top driver. Oh, Jeffries is also by himself, but Renner is running this next one. Oh boy, Parker's in here. Well, Parker, the more options we have to play with, the more interesting that we can make the races. Designing races can be super fun, and most everyone does not agree with you, especially every driver on the track. But as long as the race is fun, that's what's important. One thing I will agree with Parker on that is that I cannot stand. One thing I know WEC does it is when you come in the pits, you have an allowed pit time, meaning you cannot leave the pits unless you've been in there for a minute 20 seconds. That drives me up the wall insane, because to me, you should be able to go in, do your service, and leave. And if you can do it faster than somebody else, then that's their problem. Not everybody stays in the pits for a minute 20, and you see the car sitting there for 30 seconds. Everything's done, driver's ready to go, but he can't move because they're doing that. That is one thing that's just, they got to get rid of that.
It's pit in to pit out time.
Yeah. And it, to me, it's, I never see it change a race. It's sort of as it keeps everybody on the same playing field. One thing I've always argued is it seems that they want the fastest car to win the race, as it should, but that's not a race. I've seen so many races here, especially recently, that we've commentated on where the fastest guy did not win because of something that happened in the race. So that's just a peeve of mine. You know, to each his own. That's my way. But I just think there should never be a time limit on pit road. You just go in, you do your service. If your crew's not good enough, hey, 10 more push-ups and move faster. You know.
Yeah, to each his own, I guess. But
Right. Yep.
anyway, I would love
Agreed.
to sit here and chat with you guys for longer, but I'm about to get in the car here in about a couple more laps. So I gotta.
We were wondering if you were going back in or if Terrell was going to finish it off. So we'll definitely keep an eye on you out there.
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna get back in the car and all that. So.
Well, good. Well, thanks for stopping in and talking with us, and we will definitely keep an eye on you. And I already told everyone that you're sandbagging and you're going to win, so no pressure.
I usually do anyway, so.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See you, John. That was Mr. John Cannon himself, the guy kind of behind the scenes who sets all this up, makes it all possible for everybody to come out and race. And man, he has had such a great following in the past year, starting out with 10 guys that we saw in a series, up to 40 now, with, like I said, multiple drivers for these teams. So we probably got about 50-something drivers in here. Oh, easy. Yep. Michael Jeffrey staying out of the way. Good job there. He had to give up the spot to Coaster, but you know, that's the better thing to do when you make a mistake. Just get out of the way, let it go. Live to fight another day. Again, hour and a half left to go in the race. So you still got 90 minutes. 86 minutes, 84 minutes that you can go up there. All right. That's what it's like trying to calculate fuel while you're going down a back straightaway. 84, 82, 83, I don't, it's something. How is Trubetskov the biggest mover? Did he? Yeah, well, I can't remember where everybody started, but I guess he started toward the back. Okay, yeah. Helmuth in the car. Helmuth has gotten back in the car. I forget who he traded out with, but yeah, Helmuth back in the car. Siegert, that's who was in the car before. Let's see, Kenny's behind them. Looks like he's lost a little bit of time. So these are our guys that are a little bit off sequence from our leaders. Leaders really not due into the pits. Another 13 minutes is when we should see them. Jones now making his second stop. No, yeah, Kerr, Muhanen, Renner has made his. So Renner actually didn't gain back as much time as we thought he was. He should be back up into fourth. He'll get one more spot back now with Jones. And if you're wondering how, like we talk about the time right now that we're looking at, and it's sort of our way to look at where they're going to be toward the end of this race. Right now, we've got Jones pitting at the 138 mark. He's got to do 90 minutes. So that's 2 more stops. He's going to have to make 4 stops. Our top 3 can go to 50 minutes. That puts them at 4 stops, but one of those stops is going to be, you know, a splash and dash. They may have to take more fuel because they're running 50 minutes, so they would come up short. But Renner has already made a short stop, so he's in the good till the end of the race. He can run past the hour mark each time. So this is going to be real interesting to see how this all plays out. Heavily doubt we'll ever have any kind of thing that we're going to see like a full safety car for. Once these cars are on, they're on. Anything can happen, but I know a lot of people would like to see one. Now, Jeffries, it says 3 stops, so he's already been in a 3rd time. And I think one of those was for damage. Yeah, he might have had some damage. Ellen's in now. wonder if it's Island, because I keep saying Island, or if it's just Lynn. I don't want to call him Eileen. Yeah. Right. Tara Lance still in the car. John Cannon, as you heard, will be getting in that car. You don't want to give away too much of his strategy. You know, we couldn't write it down on a notepad for you, but, you know, he'll probably come from the back and win the race. Terrell's just kind of holding down the fort, if you will. And agreed, Parker, it does. It just takes away from the racing in the pits, pit strategy and all that when you have to. You imagine if we did that here, like everybody has to go in the pits, but you have to sit there for a minute. Like, just cuz. These guys would be so mad. So the only two right now that are still not to stop. And as I say it, Jeffries comes in. So they did not run. Actually, no, they did run as long. I'm sorry, they did run as long. Who was that? Oh. Yeah, I think he wrecked the car good. So yeah, my time was a little off. So they should be pitting at the 40-minute mark because they were pitting at the 50-minute mark, which will make them a little bit shorter, getting to the hour 50. Well, he didn't hit anything till he did that. Again, you cannot just like spin the car around real quick. There, you have to like 9-point turn that thing to get out of there. That's what we can't figure out, Chris. Is it aisle in? Aisle in? It's got to be aisle in. Yeah, Rise is out of the car. Either that or he's texting down the back straightaway, one of the two. He's in the chat. Wouldn't shock me. I've done it. I wasn't anywhere near winning some race, but yeah, I went ahead and texted down the back straightaway. Figured why not? So Moore is still stretching the fuel. So the next time they come in will be about the 2:30 mark. That'll give them 30 minutes to run to the end. And we know they can all make it 30 minutes on fuel. So the object is for them to make it 2 hours and 30 minutes. Make it that last 30 minutes. Moore now comes into the pits. And I know that this game will totally give you a penalty if you mess up going into the pits. I'm surprised, or maybe we just didn't see it, that no one has gotten a penalty for cutting over those curbs. Absolutely treacherous pit road to get on. You have to go very slow. You think you're going slow enough, but then you jump a curb and you're not. It'll freaking drive you crazy. He did just get out of the car. You see that? All right, so new driver in. Got skull on the helmet. Need to put some eyes in on there. There's some big old red eyes like right above the visor. So it's Tartier. Yeah, here in the States, he would just be Charter. All right, Jeffrey's coming around the last corner now. I think he was just coming out of the first corner. So big, giant gap. Now we'll see if this driver is faster than the first driver. So he's got 18 seconds right now. Jeffrey's still trying to run him down. It's pretty much come down to these two guys unless somebody has like a major drama. Kerm and Mahonen are pretty quick. Now they're still in the car. So as right now, Jeffries, Kerr, Mahonen, Renner, Horchey, Kotzer, Trebeskov, and Jones. and Kazava have not switched out of the cars yet, or they don't have anyone to switch out of the car with. Even though they may have registered with 2 drivers, stuff happens in life. People have to cancel on you, and next thing you know, you get stuck doing the whole thing. I was going to be joined by Chris tonight, but I'm pretty sure he got stuck out in the Pacific again. I don't know what guy tries to herd sheep in a boat, but I just leave a man to do his thing. So Chartier will now be our leader, and currently has lost about 2 seconds to Jeffries. Kerr still in 3rd, Mahonen in 4th, Horchie in 5th, and Ricky Renner in 6th. It's always fun when him and Retro are right behind each other and they start getting their names crossed up. That's just a good time. Coaster's still in 7th. And old Kenny and this team have been fighting it out with the team in front of them, Just for Speed. Yeah, Team 87 and Just for Speed have pretty much had about the same pace. I don't think Kenny about loses it right there, but Helmuth and Siegert have both been in that car for Just for Speed, and it's kind of amazing that Kenny has kind of been right there. He's really never been able to get in front of him. If he does, I think he slipped up and made a mistake. Don't think Kenny has a teammate that he'll be handing the car off to. I think he's running by himself in this one. I do see another name. We haven't seen Fury. That's a new one. So it's Lampkin and Kenny. So we have so Lampkin was just in the car, wasn't he? But that's not right because Kenny was in the car. Yeah, there's 2 Lampkins, which is not making that confusing at all. Let's go to 15th spot. I want to look at Fury. This is somebody new that we have in. Forget who. Jakob Fury. Chris Rise. Okay, I knew there was somebody else in that car before. So we've had a couple driver changes. We definitely need the guy behind them to just get out of the car so I don't have to say his name. We need Chris. That's what we need. If Chris, if you can hear us, you need to come in here so we can get you to say this guy's name. He's not a traitor, Retro. All right, now, as we talked about, we're already starting to see Jeffries is dropping that gap down on Chartier. Chartier has now taken over the car. Might be off on a stint here. They might be doing at least 4 stints. Possibly a 5th one. I don't know. It's just the way they're kind of working this out. Now, if Chartier can hold the gap, or if he loses all that time, do we see... Oh, what's his name? I just forgot his name. Look away! Look away! Oh, the dreaded curb takes another one.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, we got to blame Crystal for that one. Oh, Chris! Man, taking the escape road. Good thing to do. Oh. Whoa! Whoa! Take the escape road. That's where you know what? That is right where that thing comes in handy.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned like 30 minutes ago, yeah.
Yeah, when it all goes bad and you can just get over there and slam on the brakes. Oh, it is a lifesaver. I mean, and that thing was wiggling through 3 turns. Oh, here goes another one. Oh, he got collected. Oh, Mahonen. That was 4th place. Oh, no, he's lost the back of the car. He's got damage. He
Yeah,
can't turn the
too much
back. He's got to do
damage.
a toe.
Yeah.
And to our surprising news that these guys will get 3 fast repairs. Now, if he's at the top of the hill and goes straight to the pits, it does take that time away that it would take you to get to the pits. So he's still going to
Exactly.
have to sit there for a little bit longer. But he will get the damage fixed right away, which can, I mean, take up to 20 minutes to an hour sometimes. So having that fast fix is going to help him out a lot. But right now, I mean, Horchie and Renner have sort of just kind of made their way up. Horchie and Renner on different strategies. Kerr coming in now. Kerr made it to the 150 mark. Now, I don't think that's his, that's his 3rd pit stop. Yeah, Kerr's on a 3rd pit stop right now. And he just pit the 2nd time about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I think he pit. He's on his 3rd stop. I know that for sure, but he was on the same strategy as Moore was, who was the driver before Chartier. So he's got, that is strange. See, I was going to say 52 because that's right when he just came in. But yeah, he was on the same strategy as Chartier. He had 1 lap less. They pitted on 23. Leaders pitted on 24. They just came in and did their 2nd stop about 10 minutes ago. Actually, about 15 minutes ago. So they might be doing their short stop right now in order to make their 1 more long stop. Because the classic way to do the race would just be to run your fuel out till you're almost out, go in, get more, and then kind of calculate what you need for the end of the race. But we're seeing drivers come in, a couple of them, to run a different strategy and maybe give them a better track position. Maybe they don't get stuck behind somebody. It's not just about taking in your race to what you're doing. Sometimes you got to pit a little early because when you come out of the pits, the guys behind you will stop. So that'll give you free open track. But if you pit at the wrong time, you'll get stuck behind slower cars in the back of the field for 2-3 laps, and you can't get around them. So now you just costed yourself tons of track time by pitting in at the wrong time and getting stuck behind the wrong cars. So a lot goes into your pit strategy because you're going to fall back when you do. It's where you're going to fall back and how long it's going to take for you to get that momentum back up and get that free track. So yeah, you got to figure all that stuff out while you're driving down the straightaway. That's how we don't strategize much. You got to figure it out on the fly. That's usually the best way to do it. Okay, so Chartier has put some more time back up now. It was down to about almost 12 seconds. He's got it back up to 15 now. So it looks like once he got his rhythm going, he was good. But that is the question. Can Jeffries run him back down? Running pretty consistent lap times. Looks like they're pretty much just about in the same ballpark. Horchie's right there with him. You see, Renner, I think he's running a little quicker, trying to catch back up to these guys. But when you're 52 seconds back from the leader, you pretty much got nothing to lose. Just throw it to the wall. You got to do something different than the leader does if you have any chance on winning the race. Of course, Chartier. Well, I don't know if Chartier has the fastest lap or if the team has the fastest lap. Yeah, so I think Moore has the fastest lap, but the team is being a team race, the team will acquire that lap. And yeah, he's definitely putting more time back up on Jeffries. So it looks like we did have our dynamic duo to lead the way. Yeah, let's take a ride. Let's take a ride around the mountain with Jeffries. you know, since it's in a Mustang, we should just take a ride around. We'll give you guys a lap around the mountain with Jeffries. You can listen to this awesome Mustang. We've got a little pit action in the back. Kenny and Kazavov have come in. We'll see if they switch out drivers or anything. But taking a look around and a little ride around this Ford Mustang. My favorite car, of course. You know, just a full lap around this place. That's probably just the corner that it's fun to do it when you get it right. Trying to go all out through here without hitting that wall is always entertaining. And here's my favorite too. Love to tap that one, and then you just kind of tap this one. You're not supposed to, but it's fun. And then you don't go in the sand trap. Hard on the brakes coming down in to the dipper. Yeah, look at how much he's just fighting that wheel. And the track has such a flow to it that if you're unable to just get on the throttle, get off the throttle, and get your rhythm through there, once you get thrown off, I mean, you are just done for. And it's amazing how a car can come back with so many little dings and dents and things of this nature, but you never actually tear up the car totally. There's Chartier still out in front. Jeffries in second. Looks like Chartier is going to be able to hold that lead. Still keeping it right about 16, 17 seconds. Horchie is all the way up to third. Ricky Renner on a different cycle than everyone else, coming in pitting with that 15 minutes. Little short stop. We've kind of already figured out everybody's got at least one short stop that they can make. They really don't have to fill the tank up on one of them. I think some people are playing with the strategy a little bit, doing short stops now in the middle, maybe taking a lot of fuel toward the end of the race. You Hunty is into the pits. You Hunty, please come to the pits. You Hunty, please come to the pits. See, I couldn't help it. I had to do it. And there's Helmuth right behind him. Kavazov is staying in the car. Fury is a new driver. Jones, Kerr, Trubotskov, Renner, Horchie, and Jeffries have all stayed in the car. Not sure if we will see their second driver or if they will be the only ones doing the stint. New driver in Foy. We'll have to figure out who that is. SimGrid has now jumped back in the car. Lampkin has also jumped in the car for, was it Conroy? I think it was Conroy. So many drivers switching. Oh, no, Conroy's right above him. There's too many drivers. And we have 2 Lampkins, so that's making it fun. So Conroy back in the car. Fleming still in. Foy is a new driver. Figure out who that is shortly. So now everyone should pit. Chartier would be expected in the pits in the next 30 minutes. Jeffries is right along with him. Now, Jeffries did pit a little sooner. The one thing we don't know is how much fuel they have in the car when they come in and how far they can stretch it as they go out. Renner is on a different strategy. So he will have about 45 minutes to run on his final tank, whereas most others are probably going to have anywhere from 20 to 35 minutes, something like that. So this is going to get really interesting toward the end of the race. See how everybody's strategy picks. We're in the pits now. So wow, he cannot make it from here. He can make it. He's going to be about 10 minutes short. So this will throw something in there, because we know he ran about 45 minutes. So I don't know how much fuel they have when they come in the pits, but I'm imagining that they would be out of fuel if you're coming to the pits. Fortunately, coming into the pits. Oh, maybe not. Just saw him going wide. I figured he was diving in. So Horchie up to third. Now the Mustangs are running second and third. Just saying. Chartier is still up in first. I believe in a Corvette. Or no, that's right. No, they're McLaren. They went with the McLaren. Zenith Racing Team. Any Foy. So I'm not sure who they switched out with, because I can't be Rise. Well, they have 3 drivers? Because Seegert and Lampkin both got in the car, so we did have 2 driver switches. Oh, Salish. Okay. So Salish must have ran the first 2 stints, and now Foy has jumped in, probably, I'm assuming, for the last 2. Where'd he go? Area. Okay, so Hunty has not switched out of the car, so I'm assuming they will be in the car for the whole time. Yates is a new driver, has switched out with someone. I don't think we've seen Whedon. Oh, he did. Yeah, he did the first stint, and Hunty has been in the car since. Let's look at Yates. I think Yates is a new driver. I think. Yeah, Yates on his own. That's right. They worked hard on the livery. I think he just fell to the back. We gotta check out Lappy Roos. Lappy Roos. 18th. Yes. Lappy Roos has. Yeah, I know. She's
Corey.
Corey Lapirus. Laparals. He's on his own. He's been to the back. I don't want to know the proper way to say his name because I'm just going to come up with my own. It's a Lappy Ruse. So Chartier still out in front, started to lose that gap. Jeffries definitely made a dent when they made the driver change. I think Chartier just needed a good few laps to get warmed up. Now he's going to start to pull away, kind of maintaining the gap, not pulling away as much as Moore was. I think Moore was the faster driver. Chartier is just kind of holding pace. So I think that was their plan, to get out front and kind of hold on to it. Jeffries just kind of holding strong, probably just about as fast. Got a nice big gap over Horchie, so no pressure from behind. So Jeffries is kind of just have a race just by himself at this point. Kind of a scary thing, just trying to keep it on track, not make a mistake. Trubetskoff in fourth. Kerr has now moved up to fifth with Renner pitting. Corey Jones in sixth. And Renner will be the first one who is off strategy to pit. Now, what is interesting is it's looking like Renner is going to have two more stops, or one more stop from here. Whereas Chartier, Jeffries, Horchie, Trubetskoff, and Kerr, they don't have another stop. But why Kerr made a third stop already is interesting, because his second and third stops were not very far apart from each other. So this will be kind of interesting as this thing folds out. You see a lot of guys in the back have already made their third stop. They can run. The longest we've seen anybody make it on fuel, and it was one car that did it, went 50 minutes on fuel. Our leaders stopped at 48 minutes. Everyone else was 45 and under. So I'm assuming the most anyone can make it is 50 minutes on fuel with everybody pitting. That puts them about 10 minutes short on the finish of the race. So it will be interesting to see who can make it. Everybody's probably got one more stop to go. But as you see, Renner's already made a third stop. He'll have to make one more, making it a fourth stop. Chartier, Jeffries, Horchie, Trubetskoff, Kerr's already made a third one, and Jones. They all still only have one more stop to make. But if they have to stop when they have to stop, which most of them should do it about 30 minutes out, they're going to have to take a lot of fuel. Renner may have that extra stop where he may just have to take a splash and be able to keep moving. So a lot unfolding at the end of this one. It's always that thing when you've made your strategy, you know what you have to do, and that's what you're going to do. And unfortunately, it either works or it doesn't. And Conroy in the Team 87 BMW. Yeah, I told you there was a Lampkin. There's always a Lampkin somewhere. Yeah. Fury is now in the pits, going for a fourth stop. Ooh, that's going to be close on making it. Should have probably came in one more after that, but we'll see what happens with Fury. Maybe trying to creep into that top 10 as the finish comes. We are 52 minutes away from the 3-hour mark and the finish of this race. So we will see how it goes. Seagert's kind of just been back here. Who was he running with? Oh, it was Kenny. Yeah. Well, it was, Hellwood and Helmuth and Kenny were always together. He seems to be the one that's kind of broken away. Because I think Lampkin is driving Kenny's car. Yeah. Helmuth, that's a good last name. I just saw one on TV today. The guy's last name was Queen. And I just thought to myself, man, you did not have it easy in high school, did you? Oh. Lapperoos. Lappy Rouse. Oh, he definitely went. He definitely went Lappy Rouse. Well, we're gonna just say you Hunty. That's the pronunciation we are gonna go with on this because I could say it with the K sound, but possibly not. Maybe so. I don't know. We'll see if maybe toward the end I feel like going to HR. I'll make people wait to the 3 hour mark to hear me say it.
I can say it in Spanish. That doesn't mean anything bad or anything. So.
Oh no, John went around again. Don't back up. Don't do that. Don't do that. You gotta like 3-point turn this thing. There you go. And don't worry, no one will come flying around the corner and just nail you, including second place, which is right behind him. Jeffries is coming up quick. John's going to do his best to get out of the way. Of course, it's a long straightaway, and there you go. But Jeffries probably got held up a little bit by that. Yates is still flying around on his third stop. Yeah, Lappy Rouse has had a day. This is 5th pit stop, so I'm sure 2 of other those have been for damage. Whoa! Trubetskov just went sideways, glitching, hitting everything. I mean, I don't know if that's a wheel disconnect or just what's going on with that. That might have been a wheel disconnect. Wow! So our biggest mover just became one of our droppers. Yeah, right. I try not to say it. You know, he can't be the biggest dropper if he already had gained all those spots. But yeah, that looked like a disconnected wheel. I mean, he looked like he couldn't turn, but he was still full throttle into it. And not to giggle, just checking the chat. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Come join us. We still have a good 47 minutes left of just, man, there's some craziness could happen. I know Chartier's, out front. Jeffrey's kind of holding down second right now, but anything can still happen. They're pretty much holding position. Horchy's moved up 8 spots, Kerr 5, Jones 3. Somehow Ricky Renner has gone right back to where he started. Now, we do have another biggest mover, and that is Kazav. He's in 21st, or he's moved up 21 positions. You guys got me. I can't even speak. It's been so many minutes. So here comes Seegert now to catch Lampkin. Now, these 2 cars, no matter who's been driving them, have been together for most of the race. Seegert usually has been the car out. Somebody just got puckered. Oh, that was a pucker moment. Oh, no, don't do it. Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh, this is a battle. Wow, that was close. You can just see all the debris that's pretty much been left on the track from people going off. A lot of grass. Oh, that curb is just treacherous. If your tires leave the ground, you're gone.
Yeah, Seegert has been faster for the last 4 laps.
But it's, here it is you got to get the run off of here. That's just what you got to do. You got to be so close to them. By the time these cars get all that momentum up, the slipstream really is not going to kick in until they get to the uphill part. And then you'll start to see them kind of guide in a little bit closer. But you really don't get that big run until right here. Seegert's going to get aggressive with it. Try the outside. Grass. Battle. Lampkin holding off Seegert. Seegert going to look on the inside. Might not have the momentum. Yeah. Oh, Lampkin out into the grass trying to leave room on the inside. Seegert's going to get him going into one. We'll see if Lampkin can come back. Oh, what a battle these two teams have had. It says Lampkins is the #1 hater in Australia. That's what Dylan says about Mr. Lampkins. Well, there's two Lampkins. I don't even know if they're related. It might be a popular name like Smith over here. But I could totally see somebody saying, "That's some damn Lampkins." Totally. Jeffries has worked a little, about a second off of Chartier, not making much ground on him. Chartier, I think I called at least that one right, as the faster driver did start the race. Looks like the second driver is just kind of maintaining that gap. And that just shows you a good team strategy. Most strategies would be slower guy starts, faster guy finishes. Sometimes that's not always the case. If you start out front, you want to get that free track position. So that was a really smart strategy so far by Chartier and Moore. Speaking of Mr. Moore, so Mr. Moore, who's faster, you or Chartier? We'll figure out which one of y'all is sandbagging. Jeffrey's just been holding strong. Jamie Fleming coming into the pits. That looked like a little sand hopping for Throttle Monkey Motorsports. Valkyrie Expedition Green.
Jamie already did the Luxmansky Porsche Cup race in the morning, and he won the AM class, so he's doing another 3 hours of racing here.
Yeah, that's a lot in one day. I kind of have a rule. I don't race before the race on race day. So if I got 2 races, I'm pretty screwed. It's just, there's only so much I can do in a day before, my time just falls off. I'll be a second slower all day. That's got to be Jakub Fury.
Jacob?
You sure it's Jacob?
Yeah, phonetically it's Jacob.
Well, it can't have a J sound. It's got to be like a Jakub or something like that. Because it can't be Jakob. There ain't no way.
Well, I mean, it's the equivalent to Jacob. You probably pronounce it Jakov.
Was that? That's
well,
what's the
Hakov,
flag?
Jacob, yeah.
Well, what's the flag?
Wow, that's a really good question. That's one of the few I don't know.
Right. That's why I was like, it kind of comes down to what the country pronunciation is. Usually, how the syllables are. So, I mean, I would say Jakob or Jakub.
Yeah, Jakob works. Yeah.
Because we have that here. It's Jakub, and it's pronounced Jakob, like with a Y sound.
Do you have
some people just call it Jacob? So pick one.
do you have an idea of how that would sound in Spanish? What's the Spanish name for Jacob?
I don't know.
Jacobo.
Yeah, see, Chris Rice says I'm right. He says it's Jacob.
Perfect, okay. Jacob, got it.
Julian's being a little modest, saying that Chartier is even faster than he is, but he just knows the track better. I think he's being a little modest. Foy in the pits now. I think that's about right. Yeah, our leaders should be getting ready to come in the pits. We should see final round of pit stops for a lot of drivers starting at about the 2:30 mark, and then I think there's a few more that are going to come in around the 2:40, even 2:50 mark. I know there's a few drivers that are going to be short on fuel. So it looks like so far, unless something happens. By the way, did I mention it was going to rain in the race too? It's supposed to rain any minute. Downpour in like seconds. You know, because John did say that they set it up to be sunny. You see the sun popping out? I see a lot of clouds, a gray sky,
Yeah.
you know, some fog. You know, it could rain at any given second. We don't know. We have no idea. SimGrid has got back in front of Lampkin. Lampkin has not caught back up yet. Still watching Ricky Renner. That's going to be interesting to see where Renner comes out. Now, he pitted right about 2-minute mark, I think. Oh, what did SimGrid do? What did he do on the straightaway? He's texting and driving. This is why you don't text and drive right there, folks. That's why you don't text and drive. Okay? No damn rumble strips over there. He didn't hear that. And he didn't know to get back on the road. Oh. Checking that Facebook halfway down the back straightaway. Yeah, let me see. Look at that drifting. Ah. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Not saying I haven't done something similar, but, you know, terrible. Renner in the pits now. All right, so he just pit, like right at the 2-minute mark. So he's pitting now with 2:20 to go. He can make it from the end, or to the end from here. But that is an interesting pit strategy. But I think he's trying to shorten how long he's on pit road and keep coming out in these open gaps. A lot of cars around track, but there's open gaps. So we've seen, yeah, they can run about 50 minutes. If he can run 48, I mean, he's totally clear. No big deal from here. But just, yeah, that was a weird one that he kind of did like 2 short pits, I think. I think his dog got him. You know, it's been 3 hours. He wanted to go outside, so the dog was just yanking on his arm, like, "Come on, let's go." And he was like,
It happens. All right, I'm gonna check for the weather.
All right, so Pix has just confirmed there's a monsoon headed to the track, and we don't know when it's going to be here.
Better get your wet tires ready.
Yep, you never know. I mean, look at that fog back there. That sun has not pierced out through yet, so we'll see what happens. All those fans out there better brought umbrellas. Now, what's weird is it could be here right at the end of the race. We're not really sure. The winds are, you know, kind of like solar powered and stuff, so we'll see what happens and how it moves. And yep, looks like Chartier has moved it back up to 18 seconds. Jeffrey's still with a massive gap behind him. Horchie, great race by Horchie, I got to say, just coming up through the field, really. People having a few dramas and offs, not really making any aggressive moves, and has worked his way right into the final podium position. Right now, Corey Jones sitting strong in 4th place. Has gained a couple spots. I think it dropped back down to like 6th. Renner has made his final pit stop. Now, Chartier is far enough ahead. Jeffries is far enough ahead. Horchie, I'm not really sure if still that far enough ahead. but might be able to. Renner might be able to jump Horchie and Jones. Yeah, Horchie and Jones should have to take a whole tank of fuel. I think they've been out there for a while. Oh, almost tapping the wall. But still got those Mustangs running 2 and 3. Not a bad day. Corey Jones in the pits right now. And, you know, some of these guys that are taking fuel at the end, they may have to fill up the tank, or they may just be splashing and dashing. SimGrid in the pits right now as well, is trying to hold on to that top 10 spot. Lampkin has been all over him pretty much most of the race, depending on which team or which driver is behind the team car. So a few of our final pit stops. We're coming up on the last 30 minutes of the race, about 35 to go. Start to see the final pit stops come in, start to see how these strategies are going to work out for everyone. I was going to say, don't show John again. John is not loving the mountain today. No, he's not loving the mountain. That turn is just the killer. It's like the ender. Absolute devastation. And then again, you can't spin the car around. No. You know what? The good news is that John can just blame Terrell. You know, Mr. Lance, who did something to his car and it just didn't drive the same as he got it back. I mean, you know, John does have that ability. We'll see whether or not he takes. No! Oh, that car is damaged. God, there's so many, you know, every time they turn around, you can just see how many blind corners there are on this track. If you're sitting anywhere on the track and somebody's coming around the corner, they're not going to see you and they're going to hit you. There is nowhere to go. And we're waiting on to see if it rains, Hanselmuth. We don't know. The winds are kind of blowing in weird ways. You know, it's a mountain, so it could blow around us. The rain could show up. We're not really sure. But as you see it, the sun was supposed to come out, and it just looks to be getting foggier and foggier. Maybe a little glimpse of sun right there, but other than that, I mean, it is just foggy all around the track. Gray skies everywhere. It's just no telling. But if it does show up, it won't be here till the end of the race, maybe in the last 10 minutes. Well, we'll keep an eye on it and see, but that would definitely shake up this race. So right now, Renner has jumped in front of Corey Jones. Renner won't have to pit again. He's made his final stop. Corey Jones right there behind him. I'm assuming, we didn't check it out, but I'm assuming everybody has taken fresh tires, fresh fuel, everything to make it to the end of this race with no trouble. So this would be a good run for Renner, I think, who started in 6th place. So we gain up 2 spots. I think, I don't know, Horchie's a good ways up. So this the podium spots for now have kind of been tied up unless something happens. Looks like, yeah, Chartier still out front, gaining time on Jeffries. And Horchie is the other one. It's driving. You know, those Mustangs are strong. Nathan Nickerson is back on track now. He was hanging out in the pits for a while.
He went to have lunch.
Had to have some stuff he had to go do. You know, I had to go wash up some dishes and stuff, you know. You know how it is around the house, you know. Whether you got a wife or a mom, you're still getting yelled at about some dishes. Cause I just want to call him Kazalov. Kazalov is in still in 7th. Conroy in 8th, Fury in 9th, and Lampkin right now holding on to 10th. He will now make his stop. Now, Seeger has already made his stop, so he should be coming around to take that 10th spot back. But again, these two team cars, no matter who has driven them, has just absolutely battled for almost 3 hours now. They've had a little bit of a break. I think Kenny had a bit of an off-track moment to spread up a gap. As you see, Seeger comes by to now take that spot back. Weird to see if anybody has gotten stuck up in traffic, where they came out in the pits. I'm assuming Trubuscoff has gotten his damage fixed from his wall running earlier. Still running in 6th. So these guys have pretty much gotten out to where they were going to finish, which is kind of strange. Horchie now in the pits. We'll see how much time Renner can gain on Horchie. I think Horchie's going to take a pretty good amount of fuel. Hasn't come down to stop yet. No, he's going to have to take a lighter load. Oh, he's got damage on the front. Or maybe. We don't know. I mean, maybe he'll get it fixed. Oh, he just went ghost mode in the pits. Yep, driver change as well. Eileen is now in. So Chartier is the second driver for our leading team. Jeffries has driven the whole race. Eileen has just gotten in for, I can't remember. There's too many people. I started looking at them. So Eileen will be your new driver for the Mustang team. Renner is all by himself. And I'm assuming that Lynn has come out of the pits long before Renner has gotten to them. Yeah. Lynn is going into turn 2 right now, starting to climb up the mountain. And Renner is probably coming across the start-finish line. So Lynn will have, yep, there he comes, just starting his up. Oh, wow, he's just not even there yet. So pretty much the battle for 4th right now is for Corey Jones and Ricky Renner. Jones probably has got the fresher tires. I'm assuming everybody, and we always know I tell them to change tires. They just don't because they don't like to and make me mad and stuff. So it's what they're going to do. But I'm assuming everyone would have taken tires on this track, on this race. I mean, look at that. You can't even see the cars going down the straightaway. It's so hazy. I'm telling you, man, that mist is going to blow in and start wetting up this track. And you only got about 30 minutes left, and you know, you've got sun on one side of the track, and you've got cloudy conditions that you can barely see through on the other. It's like a recipe for just, you know, rain pouring from the sky. But we will see what happens. So Lampkin and SimGrid, and these two team cars, Team 87 and Too Fast for You. I was talking to you, Pix. No. These two teams have been together the whole time, no matter who's been driving, in this order too. They've been able to swap around, but that is so strange when you get 2 teams and 4 drivers, and pretty much you guys are all on the same level. That can make some racing just absolutely fun. And I don't think they're going to gain any time. Kazov is in the pits now. Probably going to come out before they come all the way down this hill. It's going to be extremely tough. Lampkin looking, though. Giving a couple looks to him just to let him know he's there. Just 26 minutes remain. Yeah, we've seen a couple guys blink down there, but I haven't really seen like a big issue with it. But you never know if it's their connection or it's just something with the sim on that corner, that spot. I mean, we are out on a mountain. There's probably going to be some dead spots. I mean, it just might happen. Yeah, Chartier, I don't know how, is now up by a full minute. How'd that just go from 18 seconds all the way to a minute? No, so Jeffrey's made a stop. So Chartier has not made a stop yet. So yeah, I think Chartier is still going to have to make that last stop. I'm assuming we'll stay in the car to finish everything out. Whoa, that was... oh. That was extremely close. Nope, Chartier now in the pits. Now, unless he takes like more fuel than needed, you know, maybe they cook him a ham sandwich, you know, fresh made ice. You know, I don't think Jeffries has much of a shot here. These guys have had the pace pretty much the whole race. Yeah, I mean, definitely got to take tires. Here goes a lot of cars probably unlapping themselves right now. Lampkin, Seegert, Kazov, Fury, Trebetsov. Oh, he's just so far back. Gosh, just that time. Hey, you never know. I mean, maybe if you know, if this rain shows up in the last like 10 minutes and the track gets too wet, it all depends on, you know, where you are on track when the rain hits. And if you're close to pit road and you see some sprinkles and you dive in, yeah, you might have just won yourself a race. As you see, that sun, we had one spot on the track where we were getting a little bit of sunshine right there. Other than that, there ain't nothing much around. So it is. Yeah.
100% chance of rain.
And right now, like I said, it's misty. There's a lot of moisture in the air. There's some sun. There's some clouds. That's usually a perfect storm for some rain to mix up. And you know, like I said, the wind is solar powered. So without the solar power, you know, to push the wind, there's no wind. So it could just start raining. That's how it works here in Florida, anyway. All right, so Chartier, with everybody stopping, still continues to hold that 18-second lead over Jeffries. Alain is still in third. Renner, I think, is right there. Yeah. So that's those two. So no, Renner's still good ways away from Alain. Let's just say, he's 46 seconds behind that. 46 seconds. Yeah, he's still a good ways back. So right now, he just wants those two to get out of his way because he's got Corey Jones right behind him. And these are all four positions. So these are our closest battles on the track, and somehow they have found each other. That is awesome. And he's like, move, and they're like, no. I'm trying to get, I mean, they'll still get the top 10, Seegert and Lampkin, but they're fighting over that 9th and 10th spot. You know, who wants to be 10th when you could be 9th? I mean, that one spot does make a difference. Yeah, that's some blinking. Renner's freaking hits. Wow. He hasn't really done that much in the race, though. Yeah. Yeah, Jones does have the fresher tires, and there is, God, I want to say about a 10-minute difference. There's been so many cars on and off the track, I've lost my own timing. But I know Renner came in and James came in a good bit later, so he should have at least 5 or 6 laps fresher tires.
And Sigurd and Lampkin are going to block Renner for sure
Yeah.
because they're fighting.
All right. Just wiggling down the straightaway. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. Oh, he's trying to stop him. He's like, no, go away. No, the other way. Oh, he's trying to set him up for a good run out of this corner. Yeah, he knows Lampkin had to go in kind of low. You know, this is not for position right here. Renner just wants to get around this guy. These are lap down cars. But, you know, Sigurd doesn't want to just let him go. He wants to catch that back up to the guy in front of him. Yeah, there he goes. All right, Sigurd's just going to go a little wide and try to get a good run, get that toe coming up the hill, see if he can catch back up to Lampkin. So Lampkin right now gets ahead of Sigurd. Renner's going to get a pretty good pass and not really be held up too much by Sigurd. And now we'll keep his gap to Corey Jones. Corey Jones will now have to try to get around Sigurd. So this is kind of a little mixed duo battle here. Whoa, that was almost a wall. Let's see, now you start to get into the last 19 minutes of the race. You start to get into everybody being pressured. The fatigue, I'm sure, setting in for some of the guys that have been doing this for 2 hours and 41 minutes now. Just 20 to go. Kozlov and is at, yep, Fury. Fury's trying to run down Kozlov. I think Kozlov's got him. I'm trying to watch, yeah, because Fury's close enough to get that. If he gets a good run coming out of the next corner, you can kind of stay close, get a good run out of turn 1, and then get that long run up the hill. If you can get that toe, I'll pull him up there. Then get a good run out of the last corner. Let's see if you can get a better one through turn 1. Nah, he's still just dropping. Oh yeah, he's dropping. Right now, Kozlov's got the speed going up the straightaway. He can't get close enough. Renner is definitely looking to dispatch Mr. Lampkin as fast as he can. Try to put 2 cars between him and Corey Jones. Terrell Lance now back in the car. John Cannon is now out of the car. It's all right, John. I know you can hear me. So we're just gonna blame Terrell. He did something to the car. You know, he moved the cup holder and stuff, and it just threw you all off. So that's what happened to your race. That's our story. We're gonna stick to it. Daniel Kinney is back in the car as well to finish off. And the other team, 87 car. Didn't have a good as run as their sister car right now. Is battling for 9th and 10th. But probably would be his best interest to just let this guy behind him go. But as a driver, how do you know? How do you know the guy behind you is lapping you? Because I got to tell you, I keep looking at the background. I don't see any blue flags. Oh, Renner hits the wall. Trying to come out of there with way too much speed. Taps the wall. Yeah, he definitely wants him out of the way, and he just tapped the wall. 15 minutes to go. This is the pass Lampkin made. Look at that. You can't even see the cars. Hey, I know the prediction says 0% chance of rain. I also don't see sunny skies. You make what you want of that. You know. Whoa, yeah, I think Renner was trying to protect something there, but he has got that damage now, and that's going to bring Corey Jones right there. That little bit of damage that he's got on that front corner, I don't know if it would hurt the tire or anything, or maybe the suspension, but he has definitely got some issues. Corey Jones has closed that gap very quickly. And 15 minutes to go. Rain is nearby. You can see it kind of through the trees out there. Look, you can't see any background. All you see is a track. And houses, no people, no nothing. Look at that. You barely see that mountain in the background. You'll see people in the crowd might be breaking out some ponchos, putting up some grills away. Yeah. Mr. I want to say Mr. Foy, but it could be Mrs. Foy. I don't know which kind of Foy. We'll say great driving and driver from Zenith Racing Team, car 250.
Also, Anich could be shorter for short name for some for.
Yeah, no idea. Yeah, trust me, if you have a long name that I can't pronounce and you want a nickname, yeah, go ahead and write that down because I'm really good at nicknames.
Yeah.
I can definitely nickname some people. Hazelmuth wants me to tell him if he should go wet or dry, and my answer is I don't know.
Intermediates.
Yeah, the intermediates always work. That way you're prepared for all seasoned, conditions. 13 cars still on the lead lap. Lance is 2 laps down. For some reason, Yates is behind him, only 1 lap down, but also in the pits, so that might change that. So we started this race with 40 drivers, I believe. I don't think we have too many people out. Probably just a few DNFs. Chartier still their race to lose, as they're now 19 seconds up. Jeffries in second with a pure hold on them. I think most of the race Jeffries is kind of ridden around by himself. Eileen in I just called him Eileen. It's Eileen in third place. And Corey Jones now up in fourth place, has taken that spot from Ricky Renner. Renner with a little bit of damage coming out of, we called the final mountain turn, the blue turn. Clipping that wall. I think he got a little too aggressive trying to get around Lampkin. And Lampkin technically has the right to stay there, as he is battling with Seegert, who was behind him but is no longer behind him. But his pace is still fast enough to stay up there. So he's really not holding these guys up. I know Renner just wanted to get around him to run away from Corey Jones. Corey also does have a little bit better tires, but not seeing really maybe if that's making a difference or if it's more just the damage toward Renner's car. Look at that. You tell me that's not hazy? Look at that. You can't even see the bushes. That track is going to be dampened and just moistened by the time this thing is over. And we got 10 minutes to go. We haven't seen the rain yet, so keep your fingers crossed if you don't want to see rain in the last 10 minutes. If you want to see rain, you should be doing a dance of some sort right about now. Maybe when you're going down the back straightaway, do a little rain dance in the rig or something. Because I have no idea what it's going to be. Rain is nearby, so hold your breath. Got a couple cars. Yeah, when the cars go ghost mode in the fog, not helping. That is like ultimate ghost mode. All right, so Foy and Kenny battling it out for 12th. Right now, Foy holds the position. Kenny trying to take that away. And the sister car, Team 87. Swerving and trying to give a good look, trying to mess him up, try to get him to brake a little too hard going in that corner. And 10 minutes to go. These guys have been racing for 2 hours and 49 minutes. I'll give them 49 because they did get a little pit time in there to kind of relax, while they're refueling the car. They get a good, 30 seconds? Catch your breath. Oh, he has gotten so close to that wall every time. For me, it's that one. Like you say, stay within that white line. There ain't a chance I'm doing that. It's like I aim for the wall and then don't hit it.
No, yeah.
Eventually.
And the car ahead of you blinking makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, that's way more of a challenge because sometimes you're watching them, but you're trying to watch the track, but then blinking's not helping you because you don't know where they're going to be when they unblink. And you're really worried about where they're going to be when they unblink. We'll see who can come out of this. Right now, Foy is holding strong. They've got no one around them. 17-second gap up to Fleming. Whoa. Getting brave. That's a brave spot. Oh, and you don't want to be that car on the outside. You never want to be the car on the outside. Because you're like, if you mess up, I'm going bye-bye. No, there's our other. Oh. And both these teammates running Team 87 running in 9th and 12th. And I do believe... Helmuth is now back in the car to run the last 10 minutes. And I bet you he just went and put on intermediate tires for some reason. I don't know what that graphic is. I can't see nothing. Oh, they're all on dry tires. So Helmuth back in the car to finish off the last 10 minutes. Looks like Kenny and Foy are going to battle this thing out for the last 8 minutes. Corey Jones has now pulled away from Renner. Renner will gain that one spot, but that damage was huge. You see it's affected him just enough. Either that or it's Corey Jones had the fresher tires. And right as we get toward the end of the race, maybe those fresher tires are coming into play. As of right now, we sit at a McLaren out front, 2 Fords following Porsche in 4th place, McLaren in 5th. 6th, and Troop is off. Trubetz is off. That's what it sounds like. He's in the Mercedes, our lone Mercedes. I think Kozov is in. Oh, what was he in? He was in a Mercedes. So I think we got 2 of them. Lampkin's in the BMW. Fury also in a Mercedes. And I'm not sure what Fleming is in. So different hosts of people from countries and driving cars from different countries. Fleming in the Porsche as well. The Throttle Monkey Motorsports. Throttle the monkey! Yeah! And then Annie Foy. We're just going to say great driver. Zenith Racing car number 250. I definitely would not have chosen the Mercedes, but that's just because I don't like Mercedes. Kenny has gotten around Foy finally. Definitely could tell he was faster. I'm not sure. That's not Helmuth right behind him. I'm not sure who that is behind him. Foy. There's somebody in a Mercedes. Unless it's Trubetskov. Yeah, so that's a lap car in his way. He just wants it to move. But like I said, sometimes these drivers don't know. They might be all, some of them might be in the chat to say, hey, get out of the way. But if some of them aren't in the chat, they can't hear. They don't know. They just see it's somebody behind them and they're racing. There's Alin in third place right now, locking up the final podium spot. So just at about 5 minutes to go, coming down to the last one. All pit stops are done. I doubt anybody's going to come in with a last minute, oh yeah, I forgot. Looks like Chartier still out front. Everybody's made, yeah, see, 3 stops. I got 4 stops for Renner, 4 stops for Kozov. Lampkin also with 4. And then a lot of people, anybody from 11th down probably made those 4th stops. So give it up to the few up front that made it in the 3 stop. Definitely want to spend as little time on pit road as you can, and stretching that fuel at this place can be a challenge. I mean, you get a lot of downhill roll, which helps out, but most of it's just throttle from here to the line and then from the line to turn 2. It's just, you don't give the car much of a break. And Renner still feel bad with that damage that he caught. That's probably going to keep him in the top 5. I mean, the best he was going to do was a 4th, so at least he's got a 4th or a 5th out of this. Unless Corey Jones slips up, makes a mistake, but he does have some lap traffic in front of him. Oh, that's the leader? Hold on. So the leader has lapped all the way around to 4th place? God. So yeah, he could just sit right there because I'm sure he's not going to catch the leader. Oh yeah, we've got the, and that's, God, it's just what can happen at this place. You just have to be on such a strategy to stay on point. But if you don't have those consistent lap times, this place will eat you alive, as it does to me constantly. Because I fought the mountain and the mountain won. Just under 3 minutes. Should be 1 more to go, I think, when the leader comes across the line this time by. So this will be about a lap and a half to go. Been a long race, Picks. How tired would you be if you had just been behind your rig for 3 hours?
No, but this time of the race, I would have already pinned it. Yeah, no. My car would be repairing for 30 minutes.
I've done a 2-hour race where I was completely sick and I didn't feel good, and I just drove around in last. I wanted to be competitive and try, and after I almost took out 3 cars at 4 different times, I just went, nope, I'm going to let everybody go, drive around in last, and get my points. And at least it's kind of damage control. At least I got something out of the day. But it is you just driving around basically, not really racing. But if you know where you're going to finish, that's kind of the thing about endurance racing is now you're there, you got to finish. You press on even though you're not going to win, but you're still going to get that finish. That's what you see a lot of drivers doing right now. But I guarantee you, anybody that comes around, 10th, 11th, 12th, those guys are still going to go, nope, I want that 1 more spot. You battle to the very end. White flag for the leader this time by. So 1 lap to go. If Jeffries has any hope, it's that Chartier will go at the top of the mountain and could do some sandblasting for at least 20 seconds. That's an eternity. So, yeah. Oh, that's trying to get out of the way. Yeah. I need you to get out of the way in a 1-lane racetrack with walls around it. That's what I need you to do. There's no 2 lanes here. It's 1 lane as fast as you can go through here. That's it. There's such a high load on that right side when you come through that part of the track. And then all that load gets shifted up and down, left and right as you come through here, getting into the dipper. It's definitely a dip. Chartier, oh, spinning behind him. Oh, that was 3 cars getting through. I don't even know who that was. Yeah, that just caught Corey out because Renner has now gone by him. They're all stacked up. Renner has caught back up to Corey. Car goes around. And Renner able to get a great run other than the other 2 cars coming around that corner and will actually get that 4th position back from Jones. And your winner is going to be Chartier. And Mr. Jeffries coming home in second. Little display at the end. Happy to get his 2nd place. Little show there at the end. Nice little 3 wide. I got too many of these things to check. Still waiting on Island to come home. And here comes Island across in. And it looks like Renner will come home in 4th, Corey Jones in 5th, Trubaskov in 6th, Kozov in 7th, one of the Lampkins in 8th. I think it was Daniel Lampkin in 8th, Yuri in 9th, Fleming your top 10. Well, that was a little bit of battling and craziness, and I guess the rain did not show up. So we didn't get any rain. Definitely the weather was looking that way. It's getting a little cloudy out there. It wasn't exactly very dry out, so. We'll get a few of the drivers in here to talk to them. We know we got multiple teams and multiple people, so we'll get to talk to a few multiple people. Yeah, at least one of them is only one of them. Jeffries doesn't have a teammate. All right, so your winners are the Valkyrie XB Green team. Altitude Esports by Sim Stickers comes home in 2nd. VGTR Esports in 3rd. Ricky Renner solo team comes home in 4th. Got Beat It Racing in 5th. Team Ivan Trubeskov, which, by the way, I'm telling you, that's Trubet is off. That's what that means in 6th. Team Artem in 7th. Team 87 Yellow in 8th. Zenith Racing Team Car 240 in 9th. Throttle Monkey Motorsports in 10th. Team 87 Red is in 11th place. Zenith Racing Car 250 in 12th. Just for Speed in 13th. Terrell Lance and John Cannon in 14th. Team Korea Laparouse in 15th. Zenith Racing Car 230 in 16th. Endurolite in 17th. Zenith Racing Team in 18th. Pepsi Max Racing in 19th. And Triple Stint Racing in 20th. 21st is BC Racing. 22nd, Nathan Nickerson Incorporated. We'll just go with that. Zenith Racing Team Car 280 in 23rd. WDFR Racing Dragon 24th. Gabriel Grozer 25th. High Priest Sim Race City Aurora in 26th. Juan Rodriguez in 27th. New Motion Racing 007 in 28th. Zenith Racing Car 270 in 29th. Cyberdyne Motorsports in 30th. I think we had some of our non-finishers. We'll see if somebody comes in. We'll send a few invites out to the drivers and see. We have multiple drivers for our top 3 teams. So maybe if they want to have a representative come in and say a few words with us about the race, maybe they're not going, okay, let's talk about the race. Or no, I don't want to touch anything with my hands for the rest of the day. I just want to go lay down and soak them or something, you know. Tough run. But while we wait for them, we'll go ahead and just talk to Mr. Jeffries. He had a pretty delightful second place race, if you will. You out there, Mr. Jeffries?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
How was your race? It was a little uneventful, I see, but could have been a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it could have gone a little bit more eventful. Qualified second with a decent distance to third place, but first place was just gone. He checked out after laps 2, and just left me in the dust. Yeah. It was a really uneventful race, but it made it interesting trying to navigate past all the lappers on the top of the mountain. Yeah,
you know, for a place that's so big, pretty much half of it is one lane, and do not try to pass, or you'll mess both of us up. That's where the lap traffic really comes into play, because you just can't get around them.
Yeah, definitely. There was 1 or 2 moments when we was going side by side down the mountain because some of the guys were just a little bit off pace.
Yeah,
but we tried to keep it as safe as possible.
Yeah, and you know, you can't help where you catch them at the time you catch them. That's always the tricky part, navigating. And apparently the top 3, I think you guys lapped the entire field at one point. Yeah, a lot of 3 and 4 stop strategies were going on, but it's I kind of feel for you in this, because it's like no matter where I'm at on a track in a race, I seem to get stuck out there by myself, and it's 20 seconds in front of me and 20 seconds behind me, and it's just me out there. So did you keep thinking maybe somebody from behind would come up on you or run you down, or maybe make like a strategy or something to make a run at you?
Yeah, I was watching the relative board quite often. I seen there was quite a few guys that was there. They wasn't quite catching, but it seemed like they would just drop off after a couple of laps or so. Yeah, it could have ended up worse. I could have been off the podium. I'm happy where I am. I had fun driving at nighttime in the fog. That was awesome. But yeah, it was a brilliant race, guys. Thank you very much.
I was going to say, you definitely want a nice, exciting race, but sometimes a boring, good finish. It just sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're on the second step.
Yeah. 3 hours you've been behind the wheel. The last thing you want is somebody nudging you off, in the last stint or something like that. So it can be eventful, but sometimes it's better if it's a little boring. But Great run, man. If you want to give any shout outs or anything, hit us up. Let us know.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, definitely. I'll give a huge shout out to the boys at simracers.com, Nathan Nickerson. Unfortunately, he couldn't do the full race today, but he was there in support. Thank you to the guys at Altitude, and big announcement coming tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Well, cool, man. Thank you very much. And
Yeah,
we'll
good
jump
night.
over to our other guy that we got, Mr. GT.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we are going to ask you to officially pronounce your name because we probably butchered it at least 75 times during the race.
No, it's all right. It's Artemy Ilin. It's a Russian name, but it's hard to pronounce.
We just say Alan.
Alan. That's
Just
fair enough.
island like the tropical island, man. That's the best I could get.
God.
So yeah, don't hold it against me. All positive reviews. And of course, I'm a huge a fan of the Mustangs. So of course, glad to see that 2 Mustangs got up there and tried to at least do something with the leader. But overall, how did your team's race go?
Yeah, I mean it was all right. We kind of had a poor qualifying due to just a couple of off tracks and that, but starting from P11, probably not where we wanted to be. But yeah, the start of the race was extremely hectic. We were behind a lot of the slower guys, so we were kind of expected to be in a lot of crashes, and we did end up being in a couple of contacts ourselves with a slower BMW who, for some reason, went up on the inside during Forest Elbow. But we put that behind ourselves and just kind of kept on steaming forward. And for some reason, a lot of cars were also pitting at very unusual times. So we were able to pick up a lot of the positions from there. And overall pace was amazing. Car was on fire. And yeah, I mean, the race was overall pretty boring towards the other half of the race. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, we saw a lot of weird strategies, people pitting early, trying to kind of move things around. But I guess, you got to do something if you're behind and you're trying to catch up to leaders. You do the same thing they do, you won't win. But yeah, I think some guys were pitting early to try to get some free track space, get out of all that traffic and stuff like that. But the only time you can do that really was early in the race. After that, everybody kind of spaced out and really sort of just had their pace or their momentum. But what was interesting to us was all the driver changes. We didn't know who was fast or who was faster, who's the A driver, who's the B, are they both A's? We have no idea. All we know is somebody else is getting in that car and it's another name I'm probably going to get wrong. But a great race for you guys. I mean, nice podium finish. I know you, as we talked about with the guy before, it's a little boring, but sometimes those eventful ones, when they don't go your way, I'd rather have a boring one.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, last year in the 12-hour of Bathurst, we were running a pretty boring race at the lead, and then I did kind of decide to eat the wall on the inside of Forest Elbow, 50 minutes to go, and yeah, kind of destroyed chances of winning the race. But next week, gonna come back to it in the 12-hour, gonna absolutely smash it. Hopefully with the Mustang again. Beautiful car.
Absolutely, like a tank on wheels. Got any shout outs or anything you want to give out before we head off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my teammate who puts up with all of my mistakes and all of my complaints during the race, and a big shout out to VGTR League and VGTR Esport, our absolutely amazing league, and all of the followers there as well. So yeah, and a great league as well here as well. So cool.
Awesome, man. Well, we're gonna jump over to the man, the legend himself, Mr. John Cannon. And John, I got to tell you, I think Terrell kind of he did something, man. He moved the cup holder around. He did something to your car, man. I mean, it didn't drive the same. So I mean, you gotta take that up with Mr. Lance.
So we were talking about that because he had something going on right as soon as like moments before that happened. I was like, oh no! And then we went around. I went around, and I was like, crap, this isn't gonna be good. But the car was fine, the whole rest of the stint. And then just all of a sudden, the car was like, nope, had enough. And then around it went again. It was like, oh no! So just decided, well, we got about 30 minutes left. Let's go ahead and box the car, and then have Terrell finish it out, which He did, and I'm surprised because we were 3 laps behind P14 and just kept chugging along, and then all of a sudden we're in P14. It's like, cool, we
Yeah.
are right where, or going to finish right where we started. So
That's kind of the way to win the race. Stay on track and don't wreck. If you do that, you'll probably get a top 5.
pretty much.
So overall, man, how do you think the race went?
Overall, aside from the weather, I mean, it was cool starting in the fog and stuff like that. I just wish that the fog would burn off, so that way we would have had a nice sunset come over the crest.
Well, I mean,
But
we saw the clouds coming, and we kept, talking about it for like the last 30 minutes of the race, of how the rain was coming, and it could rain, but it didn't. I mean, we were
No.
pretty lucky on that.
I think the radar said it was going to be like mostly cloudy at like 10 something
Hey,
race
well,
time.
it was 100% chance of rain, so that's why it didn't rain. But if it had been like 10%, y'all were going to get just monsooned.
Oh, absolutely. But overall, I'm happy the way that the race turned out. 30 started. Unfortunately, a handful of people dropped out after, lap 11, lap 12, somewhere in there. But overall, I mean, it was great. I do appreciate all the guys that, signed up, went on a SimGrid, checked out the event, came to it, and just, I even, thanks to Triple Stint Racing for them, helping us, get some prizes out and stuff like that, which uh, I'll have him reach out to the P1, P2, and P3 so they can get their prizes. But yeah, overall, I mean, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and they'll get a nice I guess Triple Stint will give out a couple pairs of gloves since the winners are a multi-team. So I guess they'll get that handled. They probably have been talking to Coach Dave. That's why they were out front so much. So we appreciate those.
The crazy thing is, I was riding that setup, and once the fuel started burning off, and it got to about 15, 20 liters, something like that, it would not stay on track going around turn 9, turn 10. So I was like, this isn't going to work. So we changed that setup a little bit. But overall, I definitely give a shout out to Coach Dave. Their setup was amazing.
Awesome.
As long as it had fuel in the car. Once the fuel burned off, it was kind of sketchy.
I would recommend to you that you stop driving a Porsche, and I do have another car that I would highly recommend.
I'm going to stop you right there. I am absolutely not driving the Mustang. I don't care how cool it sounds or anything like that. I'm not doing it. I would much rather drive a Lamborghini.
All right. Well, hey, whichever tank on wheels you want to drive, my friend, you go right ahead. But I will put a Ford emblem on your car as I walk behind the pits, just to be funny.
That's fine. I mean, maybe what I should do, if anything, I should just change up my livery for the next race we do that you guys broadcast. So that way, like, hey, this is just for Fry.
Well, you'll have your opportunity on March 7th as you go to Imola, and that'll be the first round of the GT Sprint Series European Challenge. And it could rain at some of the races. It may not. We have no idea, but I'll probably just keep saying that every time we go to a track anyway, so nobody will know.
I'd say there's 100% chance it may or may not rain.
Exactly, 100% maybe. That's what we're going with. Yeah. Anything you want to get out before we wrapped everything up?
No. Aside from thank you guys for doing this as usual. Unfortunately, I wish Chris could have been there to talk about it and stuff like that. But huge shout out to you guys. Picks Eton, even though I know he's watching this out there somewhere, he's never actually joined us.
We try. He's a busy man.
I also watch you guys' Porsche Cup race. That was pretty good. Shout out to Till as well for doing the live stewarding with you guys. And of course, shout out to everyone that showed up for the race. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And thank you. Dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, thanks for everyone for showing up, and we'll do this again next time.
Absolutely, and definitely. I mean, we couldn't do all this without the racers coming out to race, and we're glad that there's guys out there like you that put together great series like this, and we saw a lot of clean racing, clean driving, I know it's racing, so there's a level of respect that you see out there, but things happen. So we saw a lot of that great, racing and clean and respectful stuff today. So you really been working your tail off to put out this format, and the drivers have loved it and showed up. So we appreciate you coming to us, and we're able to get this out, and hopefully we'll just keep growing and growing.
No, yeah, absolutely. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. Next month, I think it's exactly a month from today. Well, 28 days, because the stupid February only has 28 days this month. But anyway, next or March 15th, we're doing a 3 hours of Sebring, and we're gonna do LMP2s, GT3s, and GTPs. So hopefully it goes a little bit smoother than the 24-hour Daytona race I did, because we got clobbered. But in any case, hopefully the racing's a little bit better. But if you're interested in doing that, there will be a total of 60 cars on track. So head over to SimGrid, check that out, and yeah, hope to see you guys there.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us for the 3 hours of Bathurst multi-class racing and multi-driver racing. I am your host, Fry, otherwise known as Jason Jeter, and I have more hair than that. Mr. Pix has not updated my picture, which he needs to. And he, of course, he makes all these graphics and everything look so good, and also makes me sound so good and gets us through. Eton, as we say, he may not join us very much, but he's always keeping an eye on us. He's like that parent that watches you, but you don't know they're watching. So we are always on our best behavior, and we appreciate him always helping us out so we can bring you guys great racing like this. Don't forget to join us next time. We'll have ENVY Sports. We've got GT Champions. We've got GT7 stuff. We've got just stuff everywhere. Go to GTChampions.com. Go to ENVYSports.com. Check us out on Discord. Join us next time. See you guys.
Bye.